morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Raps Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. Tonight, we're going to be bringing you the battle between two Pacific League teams, the Orix Buffaloes and the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. It is the Fighters who are nestled in second spot in the Pacific League. The Buffaloes, unless they get on a heck of a winning streak, the end of the season is going to come without making the playoffs, which will lead to a disappointing campaign for the three-time Japan Series participants. We're first of all going to give you the starting lineup for the visitors from Osaka. Leading off and playing in center field for the Buffaloes is number 30, Taishi Haruka. Batting second at second base is number 64, Kosei Osato. Hitting third at first base is number 31, Ryo Oda. The cleanup spot in left field is number 7, Ryoma Nishikawa. Batting fifth in right field is number 99, Yataro Sugimoto. Hitting sixth and doing the designated hitting is number 44, Yuma Tongu. Batting seventh at shortstop is number 24, Kotaro Kobayashi. Hitting eighth and doing the catching is number 2, Kenya Wakatsuki. And batting ninth and playing third base tonight is number 34, Seiya Yokoyama. And they're going to be facing Takayuki Kato. The left-hander takes to the hill tonight, as he will be making his latest start. We had an opportunity to see Kato live last week in Saitama for the Lions. He is going to be bringing an 8-7 record to the mound. He's worked 138 and 2/3 innings. He has walked 12, he struck out 89, and he's got himself an ERA of 2.60. Well, that's your starting lineup for the Buffaloes. Now your starting lineup for the home team, the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters. Leading off and in left field is number 53, Shun Mizutani. Batting second and playing in left field is number 7, Go Matsumoto. Hitting third and playing third base tonight is number 21, Kotaro Kiyomiya. Hitting fourth and doing the designated hitting is number 99, Franmil Reyes. Batting fifth at first base is number 2, Ariel Martinez. Hitting sixth and playing second base is number 4, Daigo Kawakabata. Batting seventh in right field is number 66, Chusei Manami. Hitting eighth and doing the catching is number 23, Tori Fushimi. And batting ninth, the shortstop, number 43, Tetsuki Mizuno. And they're going to be facing for the Buffaloes this evening, Ryuhei Sodai, who has got himself a 6-9 record on the year. He's worked 101 innings, 101 1/3 innings. He's allowed 96 hits, 29 runs, 24 been earned. He's walked 20 and struck out 102. And he's got himself an ERA of 2.13. This game here, we made the decision we're going to do these two games, the Fighters tonight and tomorrow night, and the Buffaloes. In hindsight, being 2020, I maybe coulda, shoulda, woulda added the Lions and the Hawks. A tantalizing pitching matchup over there that we'll keep an eye on. It'll be Tetsuya Mai against Carter Stewart Jr. in that affair this evening. Well, those are your starting lineups, and Kato has just completed his warm-up tosses, and we are ready to get this one underway, as this game here is about to start from Hokkaido. So coming to bat here will be Haruka, Osato, and Oda to get things going for the Buffaloes. Have a little bit different look. There's only one player hitting above 300 in the lineup, and that is Oda. And then after Oda, it becomes slim pickings. Only Ryoma Nishikawa hitting 265 or better. And the first pitch of the ball game is a slow breaking ball taken for a called strike. We are underway, and the count is 0-1. The time is 6:01 Japan time, as the pitch is on the way, a breaking ball that misses down, and now the count goes even at 1-1. Haruka batting .211 on the season, no homers and 4 runs driven in. Waits on the offering from the lefty, who delivers a fastball that misses down and away, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Back in the saddle for the first game, as we got an opportunity to catch 5 games over the last little bit as we were in Japan, and there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count now goes even to 2-2. Saw the Saitama Seibu Lions 3 times, saw the Fighters a couple of times. The Marines, the Swallows, and the Giants were the other ones we were able to pick up in the Tokyo area. So that breaking ball is tapped foul over on the third base side, and the count remains at 2-2 to Haruka. Martinez getting the start at first base today, and that moved Kiyomiya across the infield over to third. There'll be a little different look tonight, do the Fighters. There's a fastball that misses inside for a ball, and the count now goes full to Haruka. So 3 balls and 2 strikes here to the leadoff hitter of the Buffaloes. And the pitch from Kato on the way. It is a fastball swung on, grounded past the diving second baseman Kamakawada into center field. As that ball got up the middle, and Haruka is aboard with a leadoff single here. That is going to bring up the second baseman, Kosei Osato. Well, Osato hitting .226 on the season with a couple of homers and 7 RBIs. Be interested to see if the Buffaloes will go straight to a bunting situation here, as the runner at first, Haruka, now establishes his lead. Our friend Zay in the house earlier says, go Fighters, and the Fighters are definitely worth going for. That is for certain. And the first pitch on the way from the lefty, he does square to bunt, does Osato, and it's a fastball he pulls back on. It's taken for a ball 1. So 1 ball and no strikes. From now until the end of, pretty much to the end of September, we're going to try to do as many games as possible, including the midweek games. There is some Monday action, a week Monday. We'll make sure we get dialed into that as well. Again, squaring to bunt a little bit late is Osato, and this time he takes a called strike down at the knees, and the count runs even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Infield is in double play depth. The corners are in at third, and the first baseman Martinez holding the runner at first. Here comes 1-1 pitch. Again, squaring to bunt. This time he gets it down, and it's a good one. Fushimi fields it. He picks it up and fires to first. And that is going to retire Osato. It's going to be a sacrifice, and it's going to go into the books as 2-4 on the putout. Advancing to second is Haruka on the sacrifice. And that'll bring up the first baseman, Ryo Oda. Well, for Oda, he's hitting .312 on the season, 4 homers and 37 runs batted in. He has had himself a bit of a breakout season, one would say, for the Buffaloes. Oda hitting in the 3 spot here tonight. Oda is just 23 years old. He was the first pick back in the 2018 draft, but he's neared appearances in the NPB since 2019, and by far this is his best season. He's also had a regular number of at-bats, 263 at-bats this year, showing a little bit of pop and power as well. He's got 4 homers to go with that. As the left-hander faces the left-hander, delivers a breaking ball that's waved at and missed. And check that. That was Osato at the plate. So I wonder what happened actually there. We lost that a little bit here. Osato goes down on strikes. Looked like he had a sacrifice bunt. So I'm not exactly sure what brought him back to the dish, because it advanced Haruka over to second. So we lost something along the way over here, but that is down on strikes as Osato. Apologize to everybody for that one. Very, very strange. And here at the plate is Oda, and the first pitch is taken for a called strike. They throw down to first in behind the runner. Count goes to 0-1. I'm going to have to go back into the replay and see what happened on that. How we ended up losing that. I didn't think it was a foul ball. The ball was bunted out in front of the plate. Unless they felt that there was no pitch at the time, or time had been granted somewhere else. So no balls and 1 strike it is to Oda. And the pitch on the way from Kato is a slow breaking ball that misses outside. The count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. We already put up tomorrow night's ball game that we're going to be doing. And as we said, it'll be the same teams tomorrow night. And then we will be, as we said, mentioning during the week, we'll be adding some more content to our programming. There was a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field, and Manami has caught it, and then he dropped it. But they say that the ball had been caught, and it was on the transfer that he lost control. That ball was hit on the screws, and it was interesting because Manami had to leave his feet. He jumped into the air to make the catch. And then as he came down, it looked like as he was trying to take the ball out of the glove. We'll get a replay of that. And that's exactly what it was. He lost it on the transfer. So Oda gone for the second out of the inning. It leaves it up to Ryoma Nishikawa. Good swing there by Oda. Nishikawa coming to the plate, hitting .265, 7 homers to go with 41 runs driven in. Our friend Jackson Ward in the house tonight. He says, how are we doing tonight? We're doing great. Little jet lag, which means we're wide awake for this one here. Breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1 to Nishikawa. Ended up flying from Tokyo to Los Angeles, and the flight got in late. We were delayed and missed my flight. Had to get a new flight on the connector. Paused for a little bit of a problem. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. Fastball taken at the knees for a called strike, and the count now goes to 0-2 on Nishikawa. We've got all kinds of goodies in terms of videos and stuff this year for you guys. We just got to put it together now, and we'll be doing some of that stuff, adding it into our stream over the next little bit, but haven't had a chance to work on the content. Probably won't today or tomorrow. It'll be a Sunday project. Here's the 0-2. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count goes to 1-2 on Nishikawa. But it is good to be back in the saddle again, to be giving some NPB action. And as we said, it'll be this one tomorrow night, and we'll be doing midweek games pretty much until the end of the season, which will be in early October. Here comes the 1-2 pitch, but instead Kato throws over to first, and diving back to the bag safely is the runner Haruka. Buffaloes are almost at the point where they're playing out the schedule. I think they can still mathematically catch the Marines. Still quite a bit of games left in the season, but the way that they have played so very inconsistently, I don't think that's going to happen, as that fastball swung on and tapped foul over on the first base side. So we said a little bit of a clunker, a little bit of a disappointment. And when you think about the loss of Yoshinobu Yamamoto, how large that has become, take away your ace out of the staff and watch your team just completely fall apart. Nobody really stepped forward. Not even Miyagi really stepped forward to take that role. Here's the pitch. Slow breaking ball misses down and away, and the count now is 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nishikawa. 2 gone here in the first. Haruka, the runner, at first. As the lefty Kato gets his sign from his catcher Fushimi. Here's the 2-2. Pitch on the way. Fastball taken. Runners off to the races. The throw down to second. And they have thrown out Haruka, although Haruka doesn't seem to think that he's been thrown out. And it looks like Nakajima is going to go up, and they're going to take a look at it. I have to say, though, that pitch looked like it could have been a strike. But the home plate umpire didn't go up with the right hand, but the umpires are going to go and have a look, and we're going to take a look at this as well when they start giving us the video highlights. That was interesting. One of the things that we were looking at is when we're watching the game live, when you're at the stadium and you can pull out your phone and watch the game live on your phone as well, there's about a 15-second delay between the action at the stadium and when you are watching it on television or on a feed. So then when you add in a StreamYard feed, it's probably another 6 or 7 seconds. So a good solid amount of time. And boy, I'm going to say this. I think he's got a case here. I think that Haruka has stolen the base. I think the Buffaloes are going to win this challenge. We've only missed 2 challenges this year, but I think this call is going to be overturned and he will be safe with a stolen base. The umpires were just waiting on their decision, but I think he's gotten in there safely. But Kato taking a couple of tune-up tosses here as we wait, and I'm be surprised if this took very long to be able to make the decision. At least with us on this, there has been a couple there. Jackson says, is this the game at the Buffaloes? Though the game is at the Fighters, and they've overturned the call. It is a safe call as Haruka has stolen himself a base. It is 3-2. So this game is the game between the Fighters and the Buffaloes, and it is in Escon Field in Hokkaido. We'll do a little flipperoo as the video, or at least the visual, should be the home team on the right and the visitor on the left. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is to Nishikawa as he waits here on the offering from the lefty Kato, who works to the set. Here's the pitch. Slow breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats behind the third base dugout. The count remains at 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to the left-handed hitting left fielder of the Buffaloes. He had first season this year with the Buffaloes. He has slowly crept his average up to 265. He started off very slowly to Nishikawa. He had signed himself a long-term deal from the Hiroshima Carp. As that breaking ball is tapped foul down the first baseline, and the count remains at 3-2. Starting to turn into a bit of a marathon at bat. That was pitch number 8 to the left-handed hitting left fielder. So here comes the 3-2 offering as Kato adjusts himself, gets the sign from his catcher, Fushimi. And the pitch is on the way. It is a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to the left side. Nice play by the shortstop, Mizuno, on the backhand, who fields it. He throws to first, and that is going to retire Nishikawa for the 3rd out of the inning. No runs in the inning on the benefit of 1 hit, no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. We're through a half inning. It is the Buffaloes, no score. The Fighters coming to bat. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for jumping in with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Good to be back on the airwaves yet again for this weekend. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is the left-hander, Ryoya Satani, on the mound here for the Buffaloes, completing his tune-up tosses. He's going to be facing the top of the order in Shin Mizutani, Go Matsumoto, and Kataro Kiyomiya, the 1, 2, 3 hitters in the order. We were saying earlier on it was in the top of the first inning. No real damage to report, as the Buffaloes did have an early base runner. Kato did throw quite a bit of pitches there in inning number 1, as he was approaching the 20-pitch mark, or just over the 20-pitch mark by the time that inning was done. So the Fighters, faithful, ready to get behind their team, as it does look like their march to the playoffs is going to continue here, as they are firmly in second place. Here comes the first pitch from the lefty Satani as he kicks and fires, and the first pitch is swung out and fouled away by Mizutani. Count is quickly 0-1. And in some ways, after watching the Fighters play a couple of games and specifically focusing in on Mizutani, he made a couple of boneheaded base running mistakes, and you can really see he's still learning the game on the fly. But there is quite a bit of talent here in this young player that Fighters have to be excited about, as that fastball misses inside. The count is 1-1. The game last weekend, he was at second base, and he got picked off to end the inning. It was interesting. Sosuke Genda, the shortstop, was flashing signs. And they were setting him up, and it ended up, it was like a 1-2 or 2-2 count. And they ended up coming and picking him off as that ball was swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-2. So that's what you get sometimes when you have young players still trying to learn the game and probably playing at a level that If he was in the organized ball in North America, he'd probably be in Double-A still. Slow breaking ball misses outside. The count runs to 2-2. Zatani, for his work on the season, batting .303, 6 homers and 33 runs batted in. He was the MVP of the interleague play. Really made a statement breaking onto the scene during that time of the year. Here's the 2-2 pitch as the lefty delivers fastball that misses inside. The count now goes to 3-2. And our friend No Lies in the house tonight, which would be our friend Troll. Welcome. Good to see you. It's glad to be back in the piece here. I'm going to have a whole ton of Hall of Fame pieces coming up. Spent a full day at the Japanese Hall of Fame on Tuesday. There's a breaking ball swung on and tapped foul over on the third base side. Count is 3-2. Kind of interesting. As we looked on the people who were inducted, there's just over 200, I think it was 214 inducted into the Japanese Hall of Fame. He said he just grabbed that under at 5.5. And he says, juice to the gills. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And that is a breaking ball. Waved that and missed. And Mizutani's in the books. He's gone for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away here for the Fighters. And that's going to bring up Go Matsumoto. Well, 5.5 on the under here. Probably not a bad decision. Although I have to say, the Fighters lineup tonight is pretty loaded. So it'll be interesting to see how Satani does against this loaded lineup, especially with the heart of the order, which has really been swinging the bat well for the Fighters. So that brings Go Matsumoto to the plate. Matsumoto hitting .241, a homer, and 16 runs batted in. As the lefty Satani delivers a breaking ball, it's swung on and it's looped softly to the shortstop Kirbayashi, who makes the catch. That's going to retire Matsumoto for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that brings Kotaro Kiyomiya to the plate. I have to say I was impressed with Kiyomiya in the games that we saw. Pretty decent stick. Nice approach at the plate. I think he's got right now, he's 11 homers on the year, batting .302, 11 homers and 43 runs batted in, but not really the power I would expect for a North American game. There's the first pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on, tapped slowly over to third, charging hard on the run and firing across the diamond is Yokoyama, and they are going to make the play, and out comes the manager Shinjo, and they want a review, so let's hold tight for a moment as they think Kiyomiya may have beaten that one out. First base coach looked back and gave the rectangular sign to the manager, and sure enough, the umpires are going down the tunnel. So we'll get a look at this. On the naked eye, I would have probably agreed with the call, but I have to say the ball was in the dirt. Nice pick over there by the first baseman Oda. We'll watch it again on the replay. So we're 1 for 1 tonight. As we said, only missed 2 on the season so far. Throw across the diamond. Oh, boy. On that angle, I think they got him. On the other angle here. Oh, boy. I'm not so sure about that one. They say tie goes to the runner, and we like to say strikes and outs make the game go quicker. I think he caught the ball in the palm of the glove, not in the web. That made it kind of weird, so we got a little bit different angle. And I think they're going to keep the call. I think the call is going to stand. It's going to be a ground out 5-3, but we're going to wait for the umpires to come back with their decision. And if that is the case, the Fighters will lose challenge number 1. And here comes the umpires, and the call is going to stand. As that is going to be a ground out 5-3, and that will do it here for the bottom of the first for the Fighters. And we are 2 for 2 tonight on the review. No runs in the inning. There was no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are through 1 complete. Your scores, the Fighters nothing and the Buffaloes nothing. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. We appreciate you guys for ducking in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the second inning, and it's going to be Yataro Sugimoto, Yuma Tongu, and Kotaro Kobayashi to come to bat here for the Buffaloes to face the left-hander Takayuki Kato. Top of the second inning, ready to get going at the beautiful Escon Field in Hokkaido. Still haven't been to that park yet. I'd like to see that probably in the next couple of years. As we said, we're able to knock off couple of stadiums that we hadn't seen in this last journey into the land of the rising sun. So hopefully we can get ourselves a little bit more next year. And a brief stopover. First pitch fastball swung on, grounded softly to short, fielded neatly by Mizuno, and he throws to first, and Sugimoto is going to be retired on a ground out 6-3. He went through the bag a little bit gingerly there, but it looks like he's running off the field all right. So one pitch and one away here in the second inning. And that is going to bring up the designated hitter, Yuma Tongu. For Tongu, he's hitting an even 200 on the season, 6 homers and 28 RBIs. You hate to throw bombs at players or point the finger at somebody individually, but I'd have to say that Yuma Tongu probably would have been one of those players they didn't get the production they expected out of. So that breaking ball was taken for a called strike. Last year, he was absolutely outstanding for the Buffaloes. It's the combination of him as that fastball is swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 0-2. Well, certainly Yuma Tongu last year, his efforts would have made a lot of people forget about the loss of Masataka Yoshida, but he hit 307 last year. So there's a fastball that misses inside, and the count now is 1-2. With 16 homers and 49 RBIs, and this year his production is almost in half. Only 6 homers this year, 28 runs batted in, and hitting 107 points lower. Here's the pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. Tongu, a little bit different in his stance than I can remember. He's a little bit more upright. Looks like they've got his back foot up on the chalk line of the batter's box. He's got himself a bit of an open stance, but he still has that leg kick as there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. Our friend Josh Bowman in the house tonight. He says Buffaloes, Lions, and Giants. Those are his picks he's throwing down. Here's the 1-2 offering. It's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count goes to 2-2. Certainly with the Lions, Tetsuya Mai on the mound, he is definitely one that most people would probably be looking at, possibly to knock off Carter Stewart Jr. as there's a breaking ball that misses down. Hawks certainly not playing good baseball. I got a chance when I was in Japan the other night. I watched the one game on TV between the Fighters, the Sunday night game between the Fighters and the Hawks. That was the game where the Hawks went to the bottom or top of the ninth inning with, I believe, was a 5-2 lead or 5-3 lead. As there's a breaking ball that misses outside, it's going to be ball 4, and Tongu draws himself a 1-out walk. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Kotaro Kobayashi, but got a chance to watch the game on television, and it was absolutely tragic, as it was like 5 or 6 runs that the Hawks had given up there in the ninth inning on their home field nonetheless. Ended up dropping that one to the Fighters. It really makes the Fighters feel good about themselves going into Fukuoka and winning a ball game like that. That'll bode well for their confidence when the playoffs roll around. That brings Kotaro Kobayashi to the plate, batting .251 on the season, and he's got himself a couple of homers and 34 runs batted in. As the pitch is a slow breaking ball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0 to Kobayashi. Elias says, speaking, how was the vacation? Yeah, it was actually pretty good, although I have to say I was lucky because I decided on this particular occasion just to stay in Tokyo. And it worked out being good. The typhoon hit the southwest as the pitch is a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is 1-1. The worst rain, though, I have to say, of the whole time was I went to the game at Chiba between the Lions and the Marines on the Thursday night. So a week ago last Thursday. And when the game had finished, in fact, they played the last inning and a half in torrential rain to get it in. It was absolutely crazy how the game was pouring, and then we had to wait probably about a good half an hour in the stadium before the rain settled down. There was a breaking ball that swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-2 to Kobayashi. But, to put things in perspective for our North American audience, just the cost of being there is unbelievable. I was saying a bowl of ramen before I left here, going out for a bite to eat, would set you back the equivalent of about $16 US. And then going to Japan, you could have the same bowl of ramen and you're eating it for not even, you get it for $5 or $6 US. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Kobayashi, and the pitch is swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 1-2. Our friend Josh says, his Buffaloes are at bat. Yes, they are. It's top of the second inning. The Buffaloes are hitting. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Kobayashi. And more than anything, it's just a peaceful relaxation to get away. Even though it's a big city, being Tokyo, it is actually quite relaxing just how quiet everything is. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count's 2-2. So strongly recommend to everybody to be there, or if you get a chance to go, it is certainly cost effective to be able to enjoy a trip to Japan. Our friend Eloy in the house tonight, listening from Monterrey, Mexico. He says this time he's bet on the Buffaloes. I hope they gave you good odds, because I don't like the Buffalo lineup tonight, and I certainly prefer the pitching for the Fighters. There's a fastball that swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. Plenty of room there for the left fielder, and that is going to be caught by Mizutani, and that will retire Kobayashi for the second out of the inning. So 2 gone, and that'll bring up the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki. A couple things that I did do is when I was at the Hall of Fame, I literally videoed every plaque. And so, as we said, there's 214, I believe it's 214 players that are in the Japanese Hall of Fame. And with that being said, of the 214 players, every plaque videoed. I'm going to do a little short video feature on every single player that's been enshrined. And not just players, sometimes it's the administrators, people that were involved in starting the NPB and starting professional baseball. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1 to Wakatsuki. Kenya Wakatsuki hitting 192, a couple homers and 12 RBIs, but a little bit of baseball knowledge and history can go a long way. Even one of the fellas they acknowledged in terming the term yakyu, and of course being the translator from the English to the Japanese game and basically creating a dialogue or a dictionary of Japanese baseball terms. Fastball misses down and away, and the count's 1-1 to Wakatsuki. Loy asked the question, where am I streaming at? We're streaming in Canada. We're north of the border. Vancouver, British Columbia. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. Camping out underneath it is the right fielder, Manami. He's there to make the catch, and that is going to do it. He's going to be gone for out number 3. And that will do it here for the Buffaloes in the top of the second inning. There was no runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're through 1.5. Your score is the Buffaloes 0 and the Fighters 0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back. Our friend God is Great is in the house. We welcome you for being here as well. Appreciate you guys for listening in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Right back after these. Welcome back, everybody. It is the bottom half of the second inning, and coming to bat for the Fighters will be the heart of the order. It'll be Franmil Reyes, Ariel Martinez, and Daigo Kamikawa, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters to face Satani. Our friend Manny Mike on the house here. He says, which team do you think will win? I know Orix is decent, but what about the Fighters? So the Ham Fighters, it's actually Hokkaido is the city, Nippon-Ham is the sponsor, and Fighters is the nickname. Although it sounds kind of neat when you say the Ham Fighters, but it is the Nippon-Ham is the meat packaging company. So I would say before this game started, I would probably be pointing my finger toward the Fighters in this one here tonight. I like their lineup a little bit better, or a lot better actually, than the Buffaloes tonight. So here's the first pitch to Franmil Reyes. It's a breaking ball swung on, grounded on one hop, fielded on the backhand by the third baseman Yokoyama. He fires to first, and Reyes is retired. So one pitch and one away goes as a ground out 5-3 for out number 1, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Ariel Martinez. Eloy says he's going to jump out because he's going to grab some tacos here in Mexico. I like tacos a lot there, Eloy. So while you're out there, grab me a couple too. Yeah, and our friend Troll asks who we like in college football tomorrow. Actually, to be honest with you, I haven't even taken a peek at what's going on in the college ranks at this point yet. And so here comes the first pitch to Ariel Martinez, a fastball that misses up for a ball, and the count's 1-0. Josh Bowman asked a question. He says, why is it that South Korea and Japan, they sing and chant the whole game, and the USA, it's mostly quiet? There's a fastball swung on, and it's grounded up the middle. It's going to get through for a base hit. And Ariel Martinez aboard with a one-out single, and that's going to bring up the second baseman, Daigo Kamikawa. Yeah, it's a good question, Josh, and I think that when I was a youngster going to games and watching Major League Baseball, we used to get to probably about 10 to 20 Tiger games a year and 10 to 20 Blue Jay games a year. It's because of my father's work, and where it took us into Toronto often. We were able to see quite a bit, and the game has changed. It was really in about the 1980s where you started to see the electronic scoreboards, the exploding stuff, unfortunately. And it really took the fan experience out of the game. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away. They almost make it where it's entertainment, where the entertaining part is actually watching the fans get into it, how they stay focused in the game. And you think about it, as kids, we used to say that when you're watching the game, keep your head in the game. And really, when you're in Japan, a lot of people, they keep their head in the game. They know what's going on. They're not looking at the exploding scoreboards. They're singing and chanting for their players, for their teams. And it's actually really impressive. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count's 1-1 to Kamikawa. Kamikawa hitting 257 on the year with a homer and 15 runs driven in. He's been playing much regular at second base over the last little while and has found himself a home there. He was playing shortstop last couple of seasons, and he's been pushed out of the way there by Mizuno for all intents and purposes. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count now goes to 2-1. And so when you think about it, 20 years ago or so, actually more than that, 35 years ago, when you go back into the 80s, that a lot of people, they are, I guess the way I would put it is, they would be into the game, they'd be watching it a lot more. Also, too, one of the things that's kind of cool is when you go to the Japanese games, they didn't do it on every game I went to, but they still do infield, outfield before the game. That's not even entertained in North America anymore. As that breaking ball misses outside, the count now goes to 3-1 on Kamikawa. And so are the games fun? Well, typically it's the outfield where the chants are coming from. When I was in Chiba, it was right field would where the home team would sit. Left field would be where the Lions were sitting. Lions fans would sit. They would cheer on their teams from those locations. The rest of the crowd would be sitting watching the game. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes full to Kamikawa. Not really a threat to run is Ariel Martinez, but we will keep an eye on him in this situation to see if they put him in motion to hopefully stay out of the double play. He does have a couple of stolen bases. Aloy asked the question, says, are we a fan of the Blue Jays? No, sir. We are a fan of the Detroit Tigers. That is our thing. But follow the Blue Jays as they are here. There's the fastball swung on. It's grounded over to short, fielded neatly by the shortstop Kobayashi, who throws on the run, and he's going to get Kamikawa Kabata in a ground out 6-3. He's going to be erased for the second out of the inning. Advancing to second is Martinez. That's going to bring Manami to the plate. And our friend Jason says, maybe this is why I like baseball, or maybe he likes Orix Buffaloes. That's for sure. Ryan Kolar says, do we know the Costco guys? No, sir. And Trevor in on it. He says he's got a lot of money on the under on this one. And I hope that's for the first 5. So Chusei Manami steps to the plate. He's hitting .246 on the year. He's got 17 homers and 54 runs driven in. Of all the positional players that I have seen, at least Japanese players, this is the one that I am probably the most impressed with for raw ability, as he takes a breaking ball over for a called strike. I mean, there's other players that are out there for sure, but I definitely like that one. Our friend Eloy says, so sorry they lost against the A's in 13 innings. You know what? I actually was watching it, and I think it was it Parker Meadows knocked in a pair of runs, I think in the 11th inning, but the Tigers they're not going to make the playoffs. So 2 non-playoff teams, unfortunately, the A's and the Tigers going head-to-head. Fastball misses outside, and the count goes even to 1-1 on Manami. Our friend Spaceman in the house tonight as well. So Josh asked a couple of questions, and I'll answer those in a couple of moments with regards to the draft. So 1 ball and 1 strike to the right-handed hitting Manami. As the pitch is on the way, it is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. This ball is going to get trouble. It's going to get down, and it's off the wall. Fielding it is the center fielder, Haruka. He fires it in, and the ball trickles away from the shortstop, Kobayashi. But that is going to get Martinez a run across the plate, as he is going to come around to score. And that is going to put the score line to 1-0, as the Fighters Manami has got himself a double. And the Fighters have taken an early 1-0 lead. So for those of you who are looking for the under, that puts a little bit of a dent in the armor. Our friend Eloy is telling us about the Trevor Bauer game tomorrow. So 1 ball. So it was a 1-1 pitch to Manami that he doubled into the gap in left center field. That's going to bring Tori Fushimi to the plate. He's hitting .250, no homers and 18 RBIs on the season for the former Buffalo. As the right-handed stick waiting here on the offering from Satani. And they throw back behind at second base, and Manami dives back safely. So the question came in about the draft and how do they get signed? So the domestic players, or players who would be considered to be domestic if you have the Japanese passport, they have a draft. And unlike in Major League Baseball, where they do the draft now in July, the draft is typically done in November after the season is complete. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. The count is 0-1 to Fushimi. And much like in the United States and in Canada, players are drafted in the, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, is there 5 or 7 rounds to the draft off the top of my head. And they have, in the regular phase of the draft, you have your draft picks. And players will come out of high school. They'll be drafted out of university. I'm not 100% sure if players are drafted also out of the independent leagues. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. Sometimes the independent leagues that are played across Japan can be as good or just as competitive as maybe I would call like single A ball in North America. But that I'm not 100% sure if players are drafted out of there as well. You'll see that a lot of the automobile companies or manufacturing companies will sponsor some of those teams. There's also a training phase to the draft where they will also sign players to a training contract, as there is a breaking ball that's swung on and tap foul. The count is 1-2. So out of the Vancouver area, there were a couple of players who were taken in the last couple of years in the training phase of the draft. One was a hitter by the Fighters. Another was a pitcher by the Lions. So Jason says after the Koshin. Yeah, well after the Koshin, the draft would be held in November. So those players are not selected until after the Koshin is done. And there's two Koshins. There's the spring Koshin and the summer Koshin. As the 1-2 pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that is check swing foul down the right field line. The count remains on 1-2 on Tori Fushimi. So Josh Bowman says, what's a pro that came from the Japanese league? Well, all you have to do is point to our friend Shohei Ohtani. He was a Hokkaido Nippon-Ham fighter, and they paid big money to the Angels to get him to come to Los Angeles to play for them. Our friend Eloy was talking about Trevor Bauer pitching in the Mexican League tomorrow. There was a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. Yeah, so all kinds of players. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it remains. Our friend Troll asked, there were mentions about Doug Eddings and Paul Skeens the other day because of the issue where Skeens had bounced off the mound like he'd struck him out. I could see Doug Eddings having a problem with that. There was a bit of an issue that he looked like. I didn't even think the pitch was a strike. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow right center field. Moving over is the center fielder Haruka. He's there to make the catch. And that is going to do it, as that is going to retire Fushimi for the 3rd out of the inning. And that will do it here in the 2nd inning for the Fighters. But they open up the scoring. A run RBI double by Chusei Manami, knocking in Ariel Martinez. 1 run on 2 hits. There was no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 2 complete innings. Your score is the Fighters won, the Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after these. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top of the 3rd inning. Our friend Jack says, don't leave Eloy. Eloy's heading off to get some tacos. He already made that announcement earlier. He's coming back, and he's bringing some for everybody. So hold your horses there, Jack. Eloy is a good man. If he's going to be back when he says he is, he will be there. It is going to be the 9-1-2 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes here in the top of the 3rd inning. It'll be Seiya Yokoyama, Taishi Haruka, and Kosei Osato to get things going against the lefty Kato. It's a lefty-lefty matchup, and the first pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1 to Yokoyama. Yokoyama, a rookie making his debut a few games ago. I think this is game number 10 on the season. He's batting 156. He's got nothing on the slash line. As the pitch is delivered, it is a fastball swung on, is lined into center field, and it's going to get down for a base hit in front of Matsumoto. So the Buffaloes have got their leadoff man on here in inning number 3, and that'll bring the top of the order in Taishi Haruka to the plate. Well, for Haruka, he is 1 for 1 tonight. He singled and stole a base back in the first inning. So Haruka getting his second opportunity to face the lefty Kato here. So getting his lead over at first is the runner Yokoyama. We don't really have a whole lot of book on him. That's another thing, too, that I picked up when I was over there. There's something that's pretty cool. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. I don't have it out with me. It's probably buried in my suitcase. I still haven't unpacked as I got back in about 24 hours ago. And that is I picked them up last year, too. There was something produced by a company called Data Source. And it also gives you some pretty in-depth look at the players. It's all in Japanese, but if you have your phone and you got Google Translate, it takes some time as that fastball misses down and the count's 1-1 to Haruka. And that's usually what I like to do. I like to take a look at the information to see if there's any of that other stuff there. Jason asked the question, did I see Power Pros? And no, I didn't. But I have to tell you, as there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. The count is 1-2 to Haruka. What I will say, Jason, is there's something called Dream. There's a game that they're really promoting. It's almost like, when you think of the Pokemon and the different stuff, and it's all baseball related. I think it's called Dream Order. And it's a game, it's almost like a board game that you can play with dice and all the rest. There's a fastball swung on. Popped up over on the right side. Moving over underneath it is Manami, and he makes the catch, and that is going to retire Haruka for the first out of the inning. So Dream Order is something that you guys want to take a peek at. And it sort of lays out in a mat. You got your players, you got dice, and then you have the cards. And so when you think of a game like Stratomatic years ago, not as in-depth as that statistically, but kind of a neat piece. And then the cards of the players, you could buy each individual team, and you got the different decks and whatever else. But that was really being promoted when we were over there. I actually didn't pick any up. I just stayed with our standard stuff of Epic and BBM, as there's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is quickly 0-1 to Osato. Osato 0 for 1 tonight. He struck out his first time up. Lefty matchup here, as Osato is getting the spot on the 2-hole tonight. Takes a breaking ball for a called strike, and the count now goes to 0-2. Kato already at 49 pitches, the lefty of the Fighters. Jason says he's found it. Yeah, it's a little complicated. I think that if they had an English version, or at least an English version to be able to see it, it would be kind of neat. Breaking ball swung on and pop foul. So when I was in Akihabara, they had a pop-up store that they were promoting it. And then when you went into other places, even at the games, you could actually buy almost like packs of game cards or that type of thing. And so obviously the thing that the Japanese are into with their Magic stuff and everything else, well, now they've taken it to the level of baseball. As the 0-2 pitch is instead delivered over to first base on a pickoff attempt, and diving back safely is the runner Yokoyama. 50 pitches already here for Kato. It's not been easy work for him here in the first few innings against the Buffaloes. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses down. Count now goes to 1-2. Just as a reminder, we mentioned earlier, we will be back on the airwaves again tomorrow night for the same two teams. So if you're in the neighborhood and you're around, come on back again. I'm not sure if there's UFC fights tomorrow night, but usually that is obviously in the works sometimes. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball misses down and away, and the count now goes to 2-2. The game we are keeping an eye on, and one of our friends in here tonight, I think it was Josh Bowman, said that he had the Lions. Well, the Lions have taken an early 1-0 lead over the Hawks. It is Imai who is getting the start tonight. He will be difficult to hit against. Carter Stewart Jr. getting the start tonight for the Hawks. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded over to short. They go to second for one. Back to first. And our friend Troll called it. There is your inning-ending double play. It goes as a 6-4-3 variety. racing Yokoyama at second for the second out, and Osato at first for the third. And it's an unconventional 1-2-3 inning for Kato. No runs, one hit, no errors, nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom of the third inning. Your score is the Fighters won, the Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action after this. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us. Our friend Sean Gill in the house tonight as well. Welcome, Sean. We'll be right back after this from our friend Eric.
Hello, this is Eric Fox, formerly of the Oakland A's and Texas Rangers baseball teams. If you want to learn about Japanese baseball, see Coach Fred of Last Raps Baseball. If you want baseball instruction, see Coach Fred. If you want to learn about golf, do not go to Coach Fred. Fred, what kind of club is this?
At Last Raps Baseball, we know baseball.
Swagger down the street with your red lips and funky beat. You better hold your head up to the sky. I'm gonna roll with you till the day I die. Hey, swing those hips around. Can't stop, roll back down. My ladies, short, tall, thin or wide, always down and ready to ride.
Welcome back, everybody. The bottom of the third inning is coming up upon us. It'll be the 9 1-2 hitters to come to bat. That means it's going to be Tetsuki Mizuno, Shun Mizutani, and Go Matsumoto, the 9 1-2 hitters in the order. And it is only 27 pitches through the first two innings for the left-hander Satani. He has been very, very comfortable in his work against the Fighters, although he finds himself looking at a 1-0 deficit. Josh says, are we all just bettors or just up late? I think there's a combination of both, but tonight it would be more bettors than just being up late. We get that some nights. The first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Mizuno. Mizuno hitting .219 on the season, 5 homers and 30 runs driven in. Our friend Zay, a week ago when I was watching these two teams play, actually I shouldn't say these two teams play, when I was watching the Fighters and the Lions play, fastball swung on and fouled away. And I was thinking about you because when the home run was hit by the Lions in the bottom of the 8th inning, after Kato had pitched fairly well, they ended up losing that game 2-1. Everything looked like it was going to be in check. I thought they were going to beat Imai. They ended up not pulling that one off. There was a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-2. And I think it was they brought in a lefty to face the lefty. There's nothing more that drives you crazy. I think it was Kawano who they brought in to pitch. And the first pitch he delivered ended up in the first row of the seats. It was definitely a wall scraper. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball that comes inside. And it looks like he's fouled it off. Didn't hit him. So it's going to keep the count at 1-2. Our friend Troll says that he's a better, but he digs the NPB more than the MLB, to be honest. You know, and the thing about it is when you actually go to the games, like, and you think about Major League Baseball, it's a lot of home runs, a lot of strikeouts, which, I mean, hey, listen, I don't mind either of those. But the difference with the Japanese league is there's a breaking ball taken for a called third strike. Mizuno's in the books. He's gone for the first out of the inning, and it'll bring up the top of the order in Shun Mizutani. But there's more action. There's more action because there's more bunts. There's more action because there's more hit and runs. There's more action as there's more runners on the base paths. Everybody's not trying to hit the 3-run homer or a homer. And so that's the interesting part about the Japanese game is they just don't have the physical tools, a lot of the players top to bottom, that you would witness in Major League Baseball. There's a slow breaking ball that is swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. And that's not to slight the players. There are some solid Japanese players. You look at some of the players in the lineup here tonight for both of these clubs. There's 2 or 3 guys that can run into balls and put it in the seats. But then there's also some guys in the lineup that would have a hard time making a double-A lineup in North America. So 1 ball and 1 strike is the count here to Mizutani, and the lefty ready to go again. kicks and fires. Breaking ball swung on, grounded softly over to third. And you can't play soccer on a baseball field and have success, as Seiya Yokoyama has kicked that one around. That's going to be an error on the third baseman. It should be the second out of the inning, but it's going to go down in the books as E5. And that'll bring up the left fielder, Go Matsumoto. Josh Bowman says these games are way higher scoring. I don't know about that. The NPB, typically speaking, is a league where they don't score a lot of runs. The KBO, on the other hand, is a league where there's a lot of scoring. Pitching is not as good. And Josh said he always thought the pitchers weren't as good. The Japanese pitchers are certainly on a lot of the teams, and then, of course, with the import players, are very, very formidable. So Mizutani is the runner. Mizutani is the runner at first, and the first pitch delivered to Matsumoto misses inside for a ball. The count is 1-0. Jason says he feels more Japanese players could make MLB lineups or look for contact more than pure power. Not sure about that, Jason. I would say this. I think it's just the approach at the plate, that what the North American hitters are being instilled right now is the problem. I think that the physical size of the athlete, in my opinion, really, when you exclude the import players, there's two players on the Fighters I'd be interested in. That would be the corner outfielders, Mizutani and Manami. And it'd be a hard sell on Kiyomiya just because of the position that he plays. Here comes the 1-0 pitch as the lefty ready to deliver again. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line. The count now goes even at 1-1 to Matsumoto. That's just my 2 cents of the matter. And as I said, I think that when you start looking at the players and the physical size of the athletes in question, certainly the North American players, or I shouldn't say just North American, those who play in North America, the Venezuelans, the Dominicans, the Mexicans, Cubans, they're much bigger physically than what they come from in Japan. And so you have to ask yourself, is this player going to be better than what you already have? In a lot of cases, the answer is no. I don't know about that. There's a throw that's thrown over to first base, diving back in time as the runner, but boy, that was close to being a balk. It looked like he didn't exactly step directly toward the base. But I guess in the mind of the umpires, it was good enough. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is here to Go Matsumoto. Jason says, I get what you mean. Yeah, you have to always ask yourself, is this player better than what we already have? I look at certain lineups in the big leagues as there's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is now 1-2 to Matsumoto. You know, and I look at, say, for example, the Fighters, and if I took the Fighters and compared them to the New York Yankees, I'd say, what positional player would you take over somebody in the Yankee lineup? And even though I like Mizutani, even though I like Manami, they're not going to take the job of Judge. They're not going to take the job of Soto. Not going to take the job of Stanton when he's healthy. As the pitch is a breaking ball that is swung on and lifted foul down the right field line. The count remains at 1-2. My friend Jack says to call Eloy and ask him to come back. Well, he is going to come back. He's just going to bring a bunch of tacos with him. Josh says the Doosan Bears are better than the Pittsburgh Pirates. Yeah, I'm not sure about that one, Josh. I think that they would have their work cut out for us. Now, mind you, that being said, there are some players that are over in Japan that probably could have come to North America. Fastball swung on and lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats, and the count's going to remain at 1 ball and 2 strikes. That probably never really cared if they left Japan. The one player I think of is the longtime Giant shortstop who's now really moved over to third base, Hayato Sakamoto. Sakamoto is a player who I think probably 10 years ago would have looked great in a uniform anywhere in North America as a shortstop. He's now moved over to third as he's lost a bit of a step. But he is certainly one of those players that could have been. But They paid him a nice sum of money to be the shortstop for the Murray Giants, so why do you have to leave? Breaking ball swung on and foul over on the third base side, and the battle continues with Matsumoto. Our friend No Lies says the top of the Yankee lineup is pretty ridiculous. It is pretty crazy. The bad news bears that play on the south side of Chicago from Ryan. Yeah, well, unfortunately, that team is going to be completely restructured and rebuilt in the eyes of the management group that they brought in at the end of last season. Again, throw over to first base, and again, diving back is Mizutani. I'm not really actually worried about the White Sox. I think with Chris Getz and with Josh Barfield, the 1-2 running the ship there in Chicago, I think that they're going to be okay. I really do. Not right now they aren't, but in 3 or 4 years, once they start bringing in the players, and what you're going to notice is they got rid of a lot of their Latin contingent, whether you like to hear that or not. I've always said sometimes in North America, this isn't a knock on Latin America, you have to have a certain percentage of Latin players, and Latin specifically being the Dominicans, to be able to win. And you have to have the right Dominican players in your lineup. I think when Jose Bautista was a Blue Jay and Edwin Encarnacion, 2 solid Dominican players in the lineup, can make a difference in how they go about their business, how they do all that stuff. I think that culturally they wanted to make a change in Chicago because there was just too many of those players. Not a knock. There's a breaking ball swung on. It is lifted into center field, and this ball is going to bleed for a base hit. They throw into second, and Mizutani is going to be forced out. It's going to go down in the books as a fielder's choice. It's going to be 8-6 on the putout. He's gone for the second out of the inning. A little bit of adventuresome running. A nice play by the center fielder, Haruka, who had his glove up in the air to look like he was going to catch the ball, and he deked out the base runner. And the base runner kind of had the hold up, and then he threw a bullet to second base, taking a hit away from Matsumoto, but Matsumoto does reach first on that fielder's choice. Our friend No Lies says, I remember when Joey Bats laid out Ronald Odor. Yeah, he did. I still got that video saved on my phone. Here's a breaking ball swung on and missed to Kitaro Kiyomiya, and the count is quickly 0-1. Kiyomiya tonight is 0 for 1. He's grounded to third his first time up. Our friend Zay, who is in the house tonight, that was the other thing I was going to mention if you were watching the game between the Lions and the Fighters a week ago today, when the base runner, Mizutani, got picked off a second. Breaking ball waved at and missed. The count is now 0-2. That was an absolute killer. Sosuke Genda had set it up perfectly, and they picked them off. So no balls and 2 strikes to Kiyomiya. Runner at first, Matsumoto, 2 gone here in the third, and now Kiyomiya has asked for time as he steps out of the batter's box. He's talking to the home plate umpire. I don't think that he felt that he was set yet. Friend Jason says on Power Pros, he has a pitcher that can throw a sweeper 162 kilometer an hour. That's a 100-mile-an-hour sweeper. That would be impressive. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-2. I got into the Sega video game arcade, and it's changed. It's no longer Sega anymore. I forget the name of the company that it's been sold to, so the name it's almost like Geico, but it's not Geico. And walked through their building. They have 2 buildings in Akihabara. It's very interesting. As the lefty kicks and delivers, so it's a breaking ball that misses down. Good stop there by the catcher, Waketsuki. The count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 gone here for the Fighters in the bottom of inning number 3. Matsumoto is the runner at first. Kiyomiya batting here with a 2-2 count. As the lefty gets his sign and he's ready to deliver again. And the 2-2 is on the way. It's a breaking ball that's missing down and away, and the count now goes to 3-2. Three other games currently underway in the NPB. The Hawks have now taken a lead 2-1 in the bottom of the third against the Lions. 1-0, the Carp have the lead over the Dragons. That's in the bottom of the fourth. Bottom of the third inning, the Bay Stars are leading the Giants 1-0. Two games go off later this evening at the Jingu Stadium. It'll be the Tigers and the Swallows, and the Eagles will play away at the Marines at the Zozo Marine. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Fastball misses down and away. It's going to be ball 4. And Kiyomiya is going to get himself a walk. That's not a good position to be in when you've got Franmil Reyes coming to bat. Puts runners at first and second, and the manager, Nakajima, is not impressed here as he's going to have to face either Reyes or Ariel Martinez. Going to have to pitch to somebody, and we got a conference of Buffaloes on the mound as the pitching coach has come out to have a few words with the young left-hander. And I have to say, if you want to say and point your finger to somebody who looks like they figured it out, you got to tip your hat to Franmil Reyes. Not sure where he stands particularly right now, but he had a 25-game hit streak this week. Or had it at this point. They said it was the most ever by an import player with the Fighters. He's hitting .281 with 18 homers and 51 runs batted in. He has been a big part of the Fighters' surgence this year. Our friend Josh says, do they use umps because human error is part of the game? Yeah, they also have the video review, but you're only allowed 2 reviews per game. If you get them wrong, you're out of the views. There's a fastball that catches the inside corner for a called strike. The count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. The right-handed hitting Reyes. Not sure the significance with the bananas in the stand. I know that the weekend in Saitama, one of the sponsors was giving away bananas as you're entering into the stadium. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count goes even at 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is to Franmil Reyes. Reyes batting from the right side here against the left-handed throwing Satani. He is waiting here on the 1-1. And here's the pitch. Breaking ball swung on, grounded softly over to short, fielded by Kobayashi. He had to really stay focused as the runner, Matsumoto, running from second to third, skipped over the ball. But he is able to retire Kiyomiya on a fielder's choice at second. That goes in the books as 6-4 for the third out of the inning. That's going to do it here in inning number 3. For the Fighters, they had no runs in the inning. There was no hits, no errors, or check that, 1 error. And there was 2 runners left aboard. We are now through 3 complete. Your score is the Fighters 1, the Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few with all the action. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after these. Welcome back, everybody. The first third of the ball game is in the books. 1-2-0 for the Fighters, 0-2-1 for the Buffaloes. As it'll be the top of the 4th inning, and it'll be the 3, 4, and 5 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes. That means it'll be Oda, Nishikawa, and Sugimoto to face the lefty Kato, who has thrown 53 pitches in his 3 innings of work. It's not a economical evening for him thus far. 3 batters in particular have taken him to 7 pitches or more. As the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses down to Oda, and the count is 1-0. Oda 0 for 1 tonight. He lined out to the right fielder his first time up. Absolute P-Rod to the right fielder, Chusei Manami. There's a breaking ball that catches the outside corner, and the count now goes to 1-1. Our friend Zay says, why do I feel like this game's going to go extra innings? There's a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 1-2. Well, I think the only way it can go to extra innings is if the Buffaloes can score a run, and I'm not really confident tonight on how that's going to be. Last week when I saw the Fighters play, it was Drew Verhagen who had pitched the Saturday night game. I would think that might be in line again this week, as that breaking ball is swung on. It is lifted into deep left center field. Moving back, but plenty of room to make the catch is the center fielder Matsumoto, and that is going to retire Oda for the first out of the inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that'll bring up the left fielder Ryoma Nishikawa. That's the one thing, is that they don't necessarily announce the starters until, I say, the day before the game or the night before the game. Like when the game that is being played starts, then they will start to announce their starting pitchers for the next day. And it looks like Hiroya Miyagi is going to be going for the Buffaloes tomorrow night, or tomorrow, against Koki Kitayama. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike by Ryoma Nishikawa. Count is quickly 0-1. There's even a slower breaking ball that misses outside. The count goes to 1-1. That ball is a bit of a rainbow floating to the plate. Nishikawa is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to the shortstop his first time up, as the lefty delivers a slow breaking ball swung on and tapped foul over on the first base side. Right now, he is playing what looks like a game of slow pitch with the batter. So don't be surprised that he's going to rip off a 90-plus mile-an-hour fastball here in just a moment. Jason says, if the Bees lost, I'll become a VTuber or a YouTuber for a day. There's a breaking ball that misses down in the way, and the count now goes to 2-2. Now, this game here has a feeling that it's not going to be a lot of runs scored. So for those of you who chose the under through the first 5, I think you guys can pump a fist. Fastball swung on and lifted foul. The count remains at 2-2. I was just looking at the scores from last night's ball games. Fighters had knocked off the Buffaloes 3-2 last night. As there's a breaking ball swung on, this ball is lifted into right center field. Coming hard is Matsumoto. He makes the catch, and then he glove flips it to the shortstop coming out. But that is back-to-back plays here by Matsumoto. So 2 up and 2 away. It's going to leave it all up to the right fielder, Yataro Sugimoto. Interestingly, last night, there were 3 games that were all decided by 1 run in the Pacific League, all 3 of the games. Yanagawa had picked up the win last night for the Fighters. Machado took the loss for the Buffaloes. First pitch delivered to Sugimoto as a fastball taken for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Sugimoto grounded to short his first time up, so he's 0 for 1 this evening. There is a fastball swung, and this ball is belted into deep left field. This ball could be trouble, but no, Manami on the warning track up against the wall hauls it in, and Sugimoto is going to be retired for the 3rd out of the inning. Oh boy, those who had the under probably had a little sweat going there for just a moment. But that is going to do it, as there was no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the bottom half of the 4th inning. Your score is the Fighters 1 and the Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for being here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll introduce you to our friend Steve Rademacher. After the game, be sure to check him out. We'll be back in just a few.
This is Steve Rademacher, and I'd like to introduce you to my channel if you haven't seen it before. These are all the things I enjoy: sports, autographs, relics, non-sports Hall of Famers, pseudo-sports, Star Wars. That's my channel name and my name. And I would really appreciate it if you would come check me out and maybe even subscribe if you like it. Thank you for that for now, and back to your ball game.
Welcome back, everybody. Our friend Jason Stuff asked if we know what a VTuber is. Actually, I really don't, but I would have guessed maybe a virtual YouTuber, something along those lines, or something in that type of deal. But maybe virtual reality, something along that piece. But I have to say that's beyond my pay grid. I'm not sure what that is. We try to stick to the baseball. Well, it is the bottom of the fourth inning, and coming to bat for the Fighters, it's going to be Ariel Martinez, Daigo Kamikawa, and Chusei Manami. As we said, lots of firepower in this Fighters lineup here tonight, as they have 4 players that have double-digit or more home runs. And Martinez is one of them. He is hitting .237 on the year with 12 homers and 52 RBIs. He's 1 for 1 and scored the only run tonight, as that first breaking ball misses outside. The count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Left-hander ready to go again. Satani delivers a fastball that misses way outside. The count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes it is. Do appreciate everybody who has popped in and joined in with us here tonight. As we said, make sure you pop in again tomorrow, as we'll be doing it all over again. As the 2-0 is on the way, it's a fastball swung on and is popped foul into the seats. Martinez not happy with himself, as I believe he thinks he just missed that pitch. So 2 balls and 1 strike it is. Martinez digs himself back in as Satani gets himself a new baseball. We're ready to roll. As the lefty works himself to the belt, here comes the 2-1 pitch. As he kicks and delivers, there's a fastball swung on. This is popped up. This could be playable. Drifting back toward the seats, racing over to the fence was Wakatsuki, but he's going to watch it sail into the stands, and the count now is even at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes it is. Crowd is in pretty good form. Good, healthy crowd tonight at Escon Field. One of the things that when I was at the games, that you could always get tickets at the games. You can always, it was never an issue. Slow breaking ball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. The count remains at 2-2 to Martinez. When you go to the games, my best advice for anyone and everyone who would listen, over the last couple of years, the only place I was unable to get tickets was at the Cochin Stadium. Couldn't get them in advance. That was when the Bay Stars were in town last year. That one there, I would like to probably be able to do it. I think this year was the 100th anniversary of the Cochin. So everywhere else, if you show up 3 hours before the game, you can pretty much do it. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. It's now 3-2. Although I have to confess that the games at the Jingu Stadium against the Giants, I picked those tickets up in advance, bought them online. First and only time I'd bought tickets online for any of the Japanese games I've attended to. And the reason for that was I wanted to see the games there. Didn't want to take the risk of buying tickets potentially beforehand. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. It's going to be ball 4. And Martinez has got himself a leadoff walk here, and that'll bring up the second baseman, Daigo Kamikawa. I'd been to the Jingu Stadium before. I just had never seen a game there. And with the Giants, the crosstown rivals in town, I definitely wanted to ensure the fact that we were going to be able to get to see a game. And that was what I had done when I was there, making sure that I was able to see the Swallows. And I have to say, these Swallows, that field is like Wrigley Field, or maybe like Fenway Park, the underneath of the stands. It's, something that's built back in the 1920s or whenever it was. Here comes the first offering to Kamikawa Kabata, and he's already squaring to bunt, and the pitch is down. The bunt is down. It's fielded by the third baseman, and again, Yokoyama having some yips. He throws it in the dirt. A really nice play there by Oda at first. It is going to be a sacrifice, and check that. It's not Oda. It was the second baseman, Osato, who had come over to Sutter, came over to cover. That's going to go as a sacrifice, 5-4 on the putout. As Kamikawa Kabata gone for the first out of the inning, it'll bring Chusei Manami to the plate. And to be honest, with Manami stepping to the dish here, if I pitch to him, I'm probably not going to give him anything good to hit. You got the open base, and you got the light-hitting catcher Tori Fushimi on deck. So if I was the Buffaloes here in this situation, I would try to be nibbling corners right out of the gate to Manami, but nothing that I would want to give him to be able to hit. And if you got ahead in the count, I'd probably go after him and try to finish him off with a lot of breaking stuff. But certainly Manami here in this situation, you might only see one fastball or one legitimate fastball in this at-bat. So here is the first offering from Satani, who kicks and delivers. Fastball misses up and away for ball one. The count is 1-0. And if you're going to throw fastballs, probably that's the location to do it, up and away. Not sure where our friend Eloy is. He said he was going out for tacos, and we were expecting that he would be back anytime soon. We'll have to keep tabs on our friend Eloy there. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. As the lefty delivers, it's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-0 on Manami. On top of it, Manami would be a tough player to double up, one would think. Good discipline there by the right-handed hitting right fielder of the Fighters. A couple of years ago, he probably waves at that pitch. So 2 balls and no strikes as he digs himself in, ready to go. He gets his sign from the catcher, and here comes the 2-0 offering. Kicks and fires. Breaking ball waved out and missed, and now the count goes to 2-1. It's the one thing that Manami has not been able to figure out quite yet is his ability to lay off the breaking stuff. So 2 balls and 1 strike to the powerful right-handed hitting right fielder of the Fighters. Here comes the 2-1 pitch as the lefty kicks and delivers. Breaking ball misses down. It's now 3-1. So again, if I'm Satani here, I'm probably giving him something soft. Or possibly even maybe if he's got a back foot slider or something like that to maybe induce a swing. So here comes the 3-1 pitch to Manami as he waits here on the offering from the lefty. And the 3-1 is on the way. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded over to short. Oh, very interesting, as the runner, Martinez, had taken off a little bit to third, and then he had to retreat back to the base. I thought they might have had a shot to be able to get him in a situation, but it ends up being a ground out 6-3. Manami gone for the second out, and having to hold at second is Martinez. Very interesting play on the ground ball. Usually they tell you if a ball's hit at you or to your right that you want to advance toward the base at third. And that one there was slightly, it looked like it was right at him, and then he had to move back to the bag to avoid it. So at least he stays in scoring position. That's the big feller Martinez. And that is going to bring Tori Fushimi to the plate, who was 0 for 1 tonight. He flew out to end the second inning. Batting .248 on the season, no homers and 18 runs driven in for the right-handed hitting former catcher of the Buffaloes. And Here they come up firing down to second. Kenya Wakatsuki trying to backpick Ariel Martinez, who goes back to the base sliding safely. Martinez certainly not one of the more fleet of foot runners in the Buffaloes lineup, or for that matter, in any lineup. Curious to see if they had a foot race between Yataro Sugimoto and Ariel Martinez, who would win. Sad to say it, I might put my money on Sugimoto. Here comes the 1-0 pitch. Tanny checks the runner, now delivers. Breaking ball misses outside. It is now 2 balls and no strikes to Tori Fushimi. I don't know, but I think I'm going to face Fushimi here and make him hit his way on. Fushimi is definitely not one of the powerful players that you have to worry about. He doesn't have any home runs to his power. Extra base hits are at a premium for the Fighters catcher. Here comes the 2-0 pitch as the lefty holds set and now delivers. It's a fastball swung on and tap foul over on the third base side. The count now is 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to the right-handed hitting Tori Fushimi. Again, Satani leans in, gets the sign from his catcher Wakatsuki. The 2-1 is on the way. Here's the pitch. Fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 2-2. That was one of the ones I have to say, I don't know if it was the umpire that's behind the plate tonight, if it was the same umpire that was behind the plate last week when I was in Saitama, and it was one of the funnier things I'd seen. I think it was Kiyomiya at the plate, got called out on strikes, but it was only the second strike of the at-bat. So the umpire had come up and he'd given this big called third strike call like he had pulled the string on him. And the hitter kind of stood there and was like, I think that's 2. That's exactly what it was. Struck him out 1 pitch too early. There's a breaking ball swung on it. It is hit foul past the third base coach's box. And the count remains at 2-2 to Fushimi. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. We're here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Fighters have themselves or enjoying a 1-0 lead. Already 70 pitches now here for the left-hander of the Buffaloes. One would think he's probably got another couple innings left in him, and that would be it for the evening. Here comes the 2-2 pitch. Satani holds set. Now delivers. Breaking ball swung on, lifted foul down the right field line. Giving chase is the right fielder Sugimoto, but he's going to watch that slice into the seats, and the count remains at 2-2 to Fushimi. Well, Satani gets himself a new baseball. He rubs it up, and he's ready to go back at it. As economical as he was through the first 2 innings, 27 pitches. It's been 44 pitches in the last inning and 2/3 plus for Satani. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. This ball could be trouble. And this ball is going to get off the wall. Fielding it is the left fielder, Nishikawa. He fires it into second. And Fushimi is going to trade places with Martinez. He's going to extend the Fighters' lead to 2-0. So Martinez crosses the plate on the RBI double off the bat of Tori Fushimi. Ball was absolutely smoked. So 2-0, the Fighters now have the lead, and that'll bring up the 9-hole hitter in Tetsuki Mizuno. And I think Fushimi was in the hole at 0-2, and he just couldn't put him away. Ended up battling, working the count even at 2-2, and then I rocket to left field right off the Fanatic sign just down the line. And that's going to put the runner Fushimi over at second. And bringing up Tetsuki Mizuno to the plate. So here's the pitch from the left-hander Satani. It's a breaking ball that swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. 0 for 1 tonight is Mizuno. He struck out looking his only time up. I think 218 on the season with those 5 homers and 30 runs driven in. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. Count now goes to 0-2. I have to say there's been times of the day the jet lag has been with me, and there's times of the day it hasn't. Right now we're starting to feel it a little bit. It usually comes in waves. First wave here today. Of course, I woke up at 4:30 this morning after getting about 5-6 hours of sleep last night, and then had an afternoon nap to get over the jet lag. There's the 0-2 on the way. It's a breaking ball swung on, grounded up the middle. Moving to his backhand side is the second baseman, Osato. He throws to first. Oda makes the pick. They've ruled him out, but it looks like the Fighters are going to challenge the call here. Or is he going to have to do it? We're going to take a look here. Was Oda be able to hang on? Did he make the pick over at first base? We're going to find out in a minute. The umpires are going under the hoods. So tonight, the manager, Shinjo, is already 1 for 1. So we'll get a look at it ourselves. The ground ball was up the middle. Fielding it on the backhand side was the second baseman. Now, I think the key piece there is, as far as I'm concerned, he's out. It wasn't even close. The question will be is, did he keep his foot on the base? If the first baseman, Oda, kept his foot on the bag, and I think that's where the beef is. And I think he's going to be safe. I think we're going to see this call overturned because he did not keep his foot on the bag, but we're waiting for the umpire's decision. This is already the third play today that has been reviewed. Fighters already have a win in that column. And so, yeah, I think he's going to be safe. I think the part that is going to change it is the first baseman. He caught it, and then he tried to step back to the base, and there it is. The call's been overturned. It is going to be, I believe, an infield single there for Mizuno. We'll have to get the official scores report on that in a minute. But I think that is going to be a single for Mizuno. That's going to put runners at the corners, and it's going to bring up Shin Mizutani to the plate, who was officially 0 for 2 tonight. Well, for Mizutani, he reached on an error his last time up, and he struck out back in inning number 1 to begin the ball game. He bats here with runners at the corners. We'll see if the Fighters are going to have any shenanigans here. If there's a spot to do it, this is the place you might want to consider it, although Fushimi doesn't run particularly well coming down from third. So here comes the first pitch from Satani. Kicks and delivers slow breaking ball. It catches the outside corner, and the count is quickly 0-1. Our friend Jack says, bang out. Yeah, well, I don't think so on that particular call. That was, the problem was the ball was in time, but it pulled him off the base. So I'm curious to see if they're going to rule out a hit or an error. That's the other piece. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away on the first base side of home plate, and the count is 0-2. We got it in the books as a single for Mizuno, but that could be potentially likely to change. Buffaloes have already been charged with 1 error this evening. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. As he kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on and missed, and Mizutani gone for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here in inning number 4. Well, they got another run, did the Fighters. They had 1 run in the inning on the benefit as of right now on 2 hits. There was no errors, and there was 2 runners left aboard. Your score as we are moving to the top of the 5th inning, it is a 2-0 ball game for the Fighters. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for being here. Somebody is going to have to go out and do a search for our friend Eloy. We'll look for him when we return after this. But here's our friend Steve Rademacher. Be sure after the game to go check him out, because he's got all kinds of crazy things.
Hello, guys. Thank you for joining Freddie here on his baseball game. And I'm Steve Rademacher, and my channel is really all about everybody, including all my international friends. We have such stuff as non-sport packs from Canada, the OP Cheese. We have the Greek Freak. We have money from around the world. We have lira. We have yen. We have francs. We have pounds. We have Deutschmarks. We have all kinds of cool stuff like that. We even have some cooler things like Japanese women wrestlers and OPC baseball cards where I cannot read the back. We even have unopened material like the royal family, I know it's backwards, from London, England. Thank you for watching. Back to Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and we'll be back in 30 with all the action. Hang tight, everybody. 2-0 Fighters when we return. Welcome back to everybody. Yuma Tagu stepping to the plate, takes a first pitch breaking ball down and in for ball 1. Count is 1-0. Tagu walked his first time up and he was stranded at first base. That ball is another breaking ball that misses down the way, and the count now goes to 2-0. Well, our official scorer came back and has decided they took a hit away from Mizuno. There's a fastball swung on and lined right to the glove of Kiyomiya at third. And that is going to retire Tagu for the first out of the inning. Hit that ball right on the screws, and he is gone for out number 1. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Kitaro Kobayashi. So we have to change our defensive. It was an error on the third baseman, Yokoyama, which is his second error of the game. So that is a night to behold, I'm sure. But he has been charged with error number 2. As that first pitch is swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1 here to Kobayashi. Lefty Kato delivers. There's a slow breaking ball swung on. It is taken on one hop by the shortstop, Mizuno. What a nice play by him. He fires to first. And Kobayashi gone on a ground out 6-3. He's out for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki. Well, for Wakatsuki, he is 0 for 1 tonight. He's flown out to right field in his only trip to the plate. Hitting below the Mendoza line. I wonder if they have somebody in Japan who they would say they're batting below. Mendoza, of course, was Mario Mendoza. As the first pitch is a breaking ball, take it for a called strike. The count is 0-1. When Mendoza played in North America, I think his career average was like 211, but when people talk about the Mendoza line, it's more referred to as being a 200 hitter. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-1. Zay says 2 quick outs. Yes, it is here in the 5th. Fastball swung on. This is lifted into shallow right field. Backing up is the second baseman, Kamikawa Kabata. He's there, and he makes the catch, and that was 3 quick outs to end the inning. As the Buffaloes go in order, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left aboard. We're moving to the bottom of the 5th inning. Your score is the Fighters 2 and the Buffaloes no score. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house.
Welcome back, everybody. A little trigger finger happy there. We cut our friend Matt off and ended up with the other little musical tune. Fortunately for Matt, we'll get back to him a little bit later in the stream. It is going to be the bottom of the fifth inning, and coming to bat here for the Fighters will be the 2, 3, and 4 hitters, Matsumoto, Kiyomiya, and Reyes, to face the left-hander Satani here in inning number 5. 2-0, the Fighters have the lead, and so for our friends who picked the under 5.5, I don't know if that was for the ball game or for just for the first 5, but no matter how you look at it, they are still in a pretty good position here. Not a lot of scoring in this one so far. So Matsumoto striding to the plate. He's officially 0 for 2 tonight. He is softly aligned to the shortstop, and he has bounced into a fielder's choice. So 0 for 2 for Matsumoto. With that stat line, he has dropped his average to 240 on the year with those 1 homer and 16 runs driven in. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Matsumoto. Lefty Satani works himself set. Here comes the 1-0 pitch as he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. Count now goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike as Matsumoto digs in, waiting on the lefty here again, and the pitch on the way. Satani fires. Fastball misses up and away, and the count now goes to 2-1. I've got these mechanical pencils that we're working with, and I kind of like them until I have to refill them, and then I don't like them anymore. I'm not sure how the refillable cartridges to work on these. This was my experiment. As the 2-1 pitch is delivered, and it is now 3-1. Nice discipline there by the hitter Go Matsumoto. So 3 balls and 1 strike it is. And there is a fastball taken for a called strike, and now the count goes full to 3-2. I may need some instructions on how to put these pencils back together. This isn't my forte at all. Don't usually use the mechanical brands, but as that fastball is swung on and fouled away, the count is now 3-2. And with that being said, that means that we're probably going to have to go back to our trusty old friend, the regular pencil, as we continue to keep our score here. So 3-2 it is. As the pitch from the left-hander ready to go again. And it's delivered. It's a slow breaking ball, misses up and away, and it's going to be a leadoff walk here for Matsumoto, and that'll bring up the third baseman, Kitaro Kiyomiya. As they said, the over-under was 6.5 for the full game before the game had started. I think some guys had jumped in after the game. I think Troll had jumped in and said it was 5.5 once the game had started, so he didn't get the line on that. Our friend Trevor was hoping for the swing and the miss, but you better be hoping for a Kitaro Kiyomiya double play ball here. So Matsumoto, the runner at first, nobody out here. Here comes the pitch from the lefty Satani. Kicks and fires. It is a fastball swung on, tap foul over on the third base side. Count is 0-1 to Kitaro Kiyomiya. Kiyomiya is officially 0 for 1 tonight. He has walked and grounded out to the third baseman. I don't know if it's going to come Trevor in this one, but certainly maybe the next at bat. Certainly with Franmil Reyes coming to the plate, it could be a 4-0 game or it could be a double play ball as that fastball misses down and in. Count goes even to 1-1, and I would have to think Satani's going to be near the end of his leash. That's the one thing tonight. Satani here has not exactly been precise. He's had 3 walks in just over 4+ innings. And that actually would drive me crazy. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is as the lefty kicks and delivers. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. The count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is to Kitaro Kiyomiya. So 1 ball and 2 strikes as the lefty waits here. And the pitch is a fastball swung on, and it's grounded softly into the 6 hole. Fielding it on the backhand side is Kirby-Ashi, but he's not going to have a play at first. Kiyomiya is going to get himself an infield single. Stopping at second is Matsumoto. That puts runners at first and second with nobody out. And that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Franmil Reyes. So don't worry about another walk there, our friend Trevor. It's the big man, Reyes, stepping to the plate with 2 ducks on the pond. And if you're a Fighter fan, who else do you want better coming to the plate is Franmil Reyes. He has been absolutely on fire. Fantastic hitting display for the big right-handed hitting Dominican. He has absolutely been fantastic. As we said, he had himself a 25-game-plus hit streak. As he grounds into a triple play for you. Here's the first pitch. It's a fastball that carves the plate right in half for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Oh, boy, I think the big fellow would want that one back for certain. So for those of you hanging in here, biting your nails, trying to keep that under, this is not the situation you'd be hoping for. Here comes the 0-1. Satani holds set at the belt. Here's the pitch. Fastball misses inside, and the count goes even to 1-1. I would think sometimes right now for Franmil Reyes, the ball probably looks like a beach ball flying up to the plate. He is absolutely licking his chops when that ball comes in his direction. 2-0 for the Fighters here as they are batting in inning number 5. 2 on and nobody out. Fastball swung on. It's lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats down the right field line, and the count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is. Just a reminder, after this half inning, we'll take a timeout as it'll be we like to call the Japanese halftime. One of the things that I did learn is we don't always get to see it here on our channel, but in Chiba and at Yakult, where the Swallows play, they do fireworks after the 5th inning. So most Major League games, they do the fireworks after the game. They do the fireworks show in between the game. There's a fastball swung on and drilled foul down the left field line, and the count remains at 1-2. So while we're getting our drink and refreshed and our snack on the in-between, the game that is what's going on is it is a busy affair. It's what we witness between the two teams. So we've got a 1-2 pitch ready to come on its way here as the lefty holds set. He checks the runner at second, now delivers. Fastball swung on, chop foul over on the third base side. The count remains at 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to the Franimal. Reyes is a big fella. I don't know what they actually list him at, but I would have to say he's got to be a good solid 270 pounds. I'm kind of curious on who is designing the uniform for him when he comes over to Japan, because he is definitely wearing a double X plus, maybe more. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down. Nice stop there by the catcher, Wakatsuki. Count now goes to 2-2. And just like that, our friend Eloy is back. See, we knew Eloy was on the taco run. And we're glad to have you. Glad to have you back with us. And to be honest, have you missed a whole lot? Well, you missed a bit. As Franmil Reyes is batting here with a 2-2 count. 2 on and nobody out here in the last half of the 5th inning. Satani ready to deliver. He checks the sign from his catcher, and now here's the pitch. Fastball swung on, lifted into straightaway center field, moving back underneath it and making the catch is the center fielder Haruka. Tagging at second, making his way to third is Matsumoto. So that's going to be a flyout for the first out of the inning. Reyes is gone for out number 1. It's going to bring up the first baseman, Ariel Martinez. Manny in the house says that was a long taco run there, Eloy. Listen, if the tacos are that good, you got to make a run for them. Eloy says he's enjoying some Beto Quintanilla songs and some beers. As the pitching coach had made his way out to the mound to have a discussion with his pitcher yet again. So Ariel Martinez coming to the plate. He's been aboard twice tonight. He is 1 for 1. He's also walked, and he has scored both of the Fighters' runs to this point. So he has been impactful in this part of the lineup, but he is a double play candidate, as our friend Trevor Parker would know. But if I was the Fighters, I would at some point here be looking to put Kitaro Kiyomiya in motion, maybe to stay out of the double play. A hit and run would potentially work. Martinez does have some decent bat-to-ball skills. And here's the first pitch from Sutani. Fastball, take it for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. Our friend Santana Gomez in the house says under 5.5. Well, it's in jeopardy right here and right now. If Ariel Martinez deposits one in the seats, you don't have much breathing room. Our friend Zay pointed out earlier it was 6.5 before the game started, 5.5 in the live, as our friend Troll had picked it up early. Here's the 0-1 pitch. It's a fastball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 0-2. Eloy says, I wish I could record to show you all how Mexican life is. You know what, Eloy? That would be a work of art. I wonder how many people you could get watching you. Just put on your video camera in your living room, just watching Eloy show everybody how the Mexican life works. That would be pretty cool. Living room only. The showers are for members only. Here comes the 0-2 pitch. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into deep left field. This ball could be trouble. And this ball is gone. An upper deck blast by Ariel Martinez. A 3-run shot here in the 5th inning with 1 gone. That is going to cash in Matsumoto and Kiyomiya ahead of him. Oh boy, you could see that coming. 0-2 pitch. He left it out over the plate and absolutely obliterated it, as that is now into the stands. Satani definitely missed his pitch there. And the Fighters are enjoying a 5-0 lead here in the 5th inning. So our friend Trevor Parker, amongst the others, had that under 5.5. Oh boy. You might want to go and protect yourself and take something with an over. That ball was absolutely smoked. Our friend Ian in the house here says, holy moly, yeah, absolutely. That ball was an absolute no-doubter. On an 0-2 pitch. Boy, oh boy, that drives you crazy. Now the lefty's going to finish off the inning here. The pitch is a fastball swung on. Grounded to short, and Kamikawa Kabata is going to be gone on a ground out 6-3. He needed that one batter ago. That's going to put 2 out here, and it's going to bring up Chusei Manami to the plate. For Martinez, that was his 13th homer of the year. He's now got 55 runs batted in, and I don't know if he's going to be the player of the game when it's all said and done, but certainly to this point, he's been a part of every single run that the Fighters have had. He has scored 3 himself. He's knocked in a pair. He's accounted for all of the production tonight for Hokkaido. Have a game, Ariel Martinez. And we welcome Ian to the stream. We appreciate you for being here as the pitch is a breaking ball that misses up and away to Manami for 1-0. Manami tonight is officially 1 for 2. He doubled home Martinez in the second and grounded to short his last time up. As the pitch is on the way, and there's a breaking ball taken for called strike. The count's 1-1. Well, the 5 runs scored here tonight, and if I'm not mistaken, I don't think any of the errors impacted the runs, so they'll all be earned here for Satani. That's going to fluff up your ERA a bit. There is a fastball that misses up and away. The count now goes to 2-1. Loy says somebody speaks Spanish. Not on this one here. Ian says he loves the Franimal and Martinez do on the lineup. Well, certainly Martinez has been, or certainly Franimal's been outstanding this year. The last couple of months of the season, he's been great. And there's a pop-up down the first base line that should be caught. And there's confusion as it has landed in fair territory. That is going to drop in between the first and the second baseman. And then it's going to be a knock here for Manami. But the ball was popped up down the right field line. The second baseman, Osato, and the first baseman, Oda, communication issue. That's the second baseman's ball, really. The ball ends up dropping down. The first baseman kind of moved away from it. But I have to tell you, there's a lot of dog here in Manami's game. Manami barely made it to first base. On a pop-up like that, you got to be thinking about standing on second. Manami's going to get a base hit here, single. That's going to bring the manager Nakajima out of the Buffaloes dugout. Not going to be the fault of his starter Satani, but that's going to be the end of the night for him. We are going to have a pitching change here. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Satania's night is over. The defense is suspect. We'll be right back after this. This time we'll give you the whole Matt Hollis video. We'll be right back in just a few. And thanks for being with us here tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just one roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
We got ourselves a 5-0 ball game. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging with us here tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Right back, everybody, after this. Welcome back, everybody. It's going to be Hiroshi Suzuki who is coming on in relief as Satani's night is over. As they are bringing in the right-hander here with 2 gone in the last of the 5th. A 5-0 lead for the Fighters so far here, and slated to come to bat will be the catcher Tori Fushimi. Well, we're just taking a look at the stuff here, the out-of-town scoreboard. While we wait, we'll get you caught up on that. 3 other games going on right now in the NPB. 2-1 still in the top of the 7th as the Hawks have a lead over the Lions. Good pitchers duel between Imai and Carter Stewart Jr. 2-0 at the Mazda Zoom Zoom Stadium as the Carp have the lead over the Dragons. At the bottom of the 5th inning, it is the Bay Stars leading the Giants 1-0. Bay Stars trying to hang in there in the playoff battle as they are right now on the outside looking in the Central League. They are 4.5 back of the Giants. A win tonight there will close the gap as it'll tighten everything up. Only 4.5 games separate 3 teams. The Dragons and the Swallows, one would think, probably long gone out of the race. Well, Suzuki ready to go as he works himself to the set position. And here comes the pitch. Fastball catches the outside corner for called strike. Count is quickly 0-1 to Tori Fushimi. Fushimi doubled home a run in the last inning. He's got himself an RBI, a double, in 2 trips tonight. He's also flown out to the center fielder. Right-hander Suzuki checks the runner at first. Works himself to the set, and here's the pitch. And breaking ball misses down and away, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. There has been a stampede in this one, and it has been a stampede by the Fighters that have trampled the Buffaloes so far here tonight. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and missed. The count now goes to 1-2. So as we said, just as a reminder, we will take a timeout, a little extended timeout at the end of this half inning, as it is going to be the Japanese halftime where they do the extended break. So we invite you to stay along with us while we go refresh our drink. We'll be back for the second half of this one. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Fushimi as the right-hander Suzuki ready to deliver again. Here comes the pitch. Fastball swung on, grounded over to the right side, fielded by Osato. He throws to first. That's going to be a ground out 4-3, and that will do it here for the 3rd out of the inning. Suzuki comes in and does his job. But the big blow in the inning, the 3-run homer by Ariel Martinez, 3 runs in the inning on the benefit of 3 hits. There was no errors, and there was 1 runner left aboard. 5-0 for the Fighters as we go to the top of the 6th. Hang with us, everybody. We'll be back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for being here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. We'll be right back after these.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city, San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are getting ourselves back into the seats here, and we're ready to bring you the sixth inning. It's been the Ariel Martinez show here tonight, as he has the 3-run homer in the last half inning, and he has been a part of scoring all the runs for the Fighters in this one. He has been brought home twice on an RBI double by Chusei Manami and an RBI double by Tori Fushimi. And then he hit his own 3-run homer. 73 pitches for Kato, who has really settled in here after it looked like in the first 3 innings where he struggled through 53 pitches. Was able the last couple innings to be very economical. Well, he is on to face the 9-1-2 hitters, which will be Yokoyama, Haruka, and Osato, as they will face the lefty here. As we said, keeping up to date on the scores, we gave you the roundup, and we were, as we said earlier, we were debating whether we were going to call this one or the game between the Hawks and the Lions, and we chose to go with this one. We figured out we'll stay with this series here, but boy, maybe we're missing a heck of a pitcher's duel with Carter Stewart Jr. and Tetsuya Imai on the mound in that one there. Well, it's going to be Yokoyama to lead it off. He's 1-for-1 tonight. The left-handed hitting third baseman has made both of the errors committed tonight by the Buffaloes. Raised his season average to 182, and the first pitch is a breaking ball swung on and missed. The count is quickly 0-1. Yokoyama, as we had mentioned at the earlier part of the stream, has made his NPB debut this year. There's a fastball swung on. It is caught in the air by Martinez at first as he picks it off his shoestrings, and that is going to retire Yokoyama for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Taisi Haruka. But just to go back to Yokoyama, this is his 10th game of the year. 10th appearance. He was the first round pick of the Buffaloes in the 2023 draft. So that brings Haruka to the plate, who is 1-for-2 tonight. He's got a single and a stolen base, and he takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike it is. There's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul behind home plate, and the count is now to 0-2. I wish I would have had the insight to ask some of the Japanese what they would have thought of Shota Imanaga throwing a no-hitter and then being taken out after 7 innings on 96 pitches. Fastball swung on. This ball is going to be inside outed into right field. It's down for a base hit. Chusei Nanami is going to pick that up and fire it back into the infield. So it's a single here by Haruka with 1 gone. That's going to bring up the second baseman, Kosei Osato. So Kosei Osato, a bit of a defensive gaffe last night that won't, last inning, that won't show up in the box score, as he had dropped a pop-up between him and Oda. Yeah, I shouldn't say dropped it either. It just let it fell in between them. It was his ball to catch. And he didn't make the play, and he kind of stood there and looked at the other player. Well, it's going to be a pinch hitter. It's going to be Leandro Cedeno coming to bat. So that's going to be the end of Osato. And the first pitch to Cedeno is a fastball swung on and fouled away. That ought to be the message, is that your night is over because you were brutal in the field. Hate to say it, but that's basically what it boils down to. But I'm just curious to see if Cedeno will stay in. Maybe they move him to first base and move Rio Oda over to second. See what happens with the next hitter. There's a slow breaking ball swung on, belted into left field. It's down for a base hit. And that is going to be back-to-back hits here for the Buffaloes. That's going to put runners at first and second. And now the Buffaloes have got something brewing here as Rio Oda comes to the plate. Our friend Zay says, let's go, Cato. Well, he's got himself some trouble here now. One would have to think that you want to try to put the Buffaloes to sleep. Wake him up here. And that's going to bring Oda to the plate. Oda lined to right, and he is flown to center. So the runner at second is Haruka. The runner at first is Cedeno. Here's the pitch to Oda. It's a breaking ball, waved at and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Oda. Couple of runs here, and all of a sudden people will be rushing back to the stream. But a 5-0 spread here for the Fighters on home soil. Looks pretty comfortable right now for the Hokkaido Ball Club. Here comes the 0-1 pitch as the lefty holds set, now fires. Fastball swung on and fouled just to the first base side of home plate, and the count is 1-2 to Oda. Ryoma Nishikawa waiting his turn on deck. Buffaloes looking to find their way back into this one here. Here comes the 0-2 pitch as the lefty kicks and delivers. Fastball misses way outside. Count is 1-2 to Rio Oda. Carp leading the Dragons in the top of the 7th inning, 2-1 at the Mazda Zoom Zoom. As we said, we'll continue to peek in on action around the NPB. There's a breaking ball swung on, grounded to the short. They go to second for 1, back to first. That's going to be a double play. So Oda grounds into the 6-4-3 variety. 6-4-3 for the outs in that one. And it's going to advance Haruka over to third. That's going to bring up the left fielder, Ryoma Nishikawa. So the manager, Shinjo of the Fighters there, now taking off his jacket. Looking a little bit more smug and content. How his ball club is doing. Nishikawa 0 for 2 tonight. He's grounded to short and flown out to center. The big boss has got his own kind of neat chair there in the Fighters dugout. It's almost like a little bit of a perch. I have to say, I don't know if I would have predicted that Shinjo would do this well as manager. He's got his team playing pretty good ball. He's definitely got them playing decent baseball at this point. So that brings Ryoma Nishikawa to the plate. Nishikawa is 0 for 2, as we said. He has flown to center and he's grounded to short. Not sure what the delay is here. We're waiting for the Fighters. I didn't think that they were challenging the back end of the double play ball. I thought that was pretty straightforward. We do have ourselves a bit of a delay here. As they take us for a view outside the stadium, and they've got all the food trucks outside. That's kind of interesting. That's one thing that you see in Japan that you don't see elsewhere, is that when you go to a game, you can actually get they will let you re-enter the stadium. You can exit the stadium and then re-enter the stadium. So what do we have here? Oh, that was actually as I'm sleeping here, that's the third out of the inning. Nishikawa's done. It's going to bring Mizuno to the plate. Got to tell you guys, the jet lag is kicking in here. There was no runs, 2 hits in the inning. no errors, and one runner left aboard. Unfortunately for us, we're a bit sleeping here. It's Suzuki who's coming to the plate, or coming to the mound to pitch, and the first pitch to Mizuno is a breaking ball that misses upstairs. Can't even remember what innings we're in some nights tonight. Our friend Zay is probably chuckling on the back end. We do have the changes. It looks like that Oda has gone to second with Cedeno moving in at first base. Fastball misses down and in as Mizuno has to do a little skip rope to get out of the way. Gotta make sure I'm keeping the balls and strikes right. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is here to Mizuno. Mizuno, Mizutani, and Matsumoto, the 3 M's. Fastball swung on, grounded through the full OR hole into right field for a base hit, but it absolutely exploded the bat out of the hands of Mizuno, but he's got himself a single. It's his first hit of the evening. He is aboard. That bat died a soldier's life there as it was able to make sure he got that as a base hit. Take a look at that again. It looked like it was sawed right off. Interesting the way it broke. Base hit there for Mizuno. It brings up the top of the order in Mizutani. Zay says he destroyed that bat. Yeah, that bat was literally sawed in half. It was an interesting break. Almost looked like it was a paddle by the time it was done there. So Mizutani striding to the plate. He is officially 0 for 3 tonight, surrounding 2 strikeouts. He reached on an error by the third baseman. Suzuki looks over to the runner at first. Now he works himself to the set position. Here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on and missed. Count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike to Mizutani. His average has slipped down to an even 300 after it was up in the high 300s for quite a bit early on. The league has caught up to the young right-handed hitting left fielder of the Fighters as he swings at a fastball. Lifts it into shallow center field. Coming hard is the center fielder, Haruka. He had thoughts about throwing back in behind Mizuno, but that is going to retire Mizutani on a fly ball out for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the left fielder, Go Matsumoto. Well, and for Matsumoto, he is officially 0 for 2 tonight. He has walked and scored a run. So Mizutani's average has dipped below the 300 mark. Matsumoto waiting here on the first pitch from Mizutani, who check that from Suzuki. The first pitch is a fastball that misses outside for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Oh boy, I have a feeling tonight it's going to be a bit of a struggle for us the rest of the way. We'll stay with it, but we got ourselves some tea and some other stuff that we're going to try to get ourselves with the eyelids propped open, maybe some toothpicks as well. 1 ball and no strikes to Matsumoto as the right-hander Suzuki ready to go again. Here's the pitch. Fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line, and the count now goes even to 1-1. Five runs, 7 hits, no errors for the Fighters. No runs, 4 hits, 2 errors for the Buffaloes. We are here in the bottom half of inning number 6. As Matsumoto waits on the offering here from Suzuki. And instead, they fire over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Mizuno. And here is Matsumoto ready to go to face him again. So 1 ball and 1 strike as the right-handed hitting Matsumoto waits on the offering from Suzuki. Again, checks the runner, works himself set, now delivers. Breaking ball catches the outside corner for called strike, and the count is now 1-2. I'm pretty sure this is the same umpire that we saw in Saitama last week, very animated. As I mentioned before, the home plate umpire had called out one of the batters on 2 strikes. After you do a double take and go back and have a look, I'm pretty sure that is the same umpire as that was last weekend. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. As the right-hander Suzuki holds set. Now delivers. A fastball swung on and lifted foul down the right field line. And the count remains at 1 ball and 2 strikes to Matsumoto. Matsumoto will be a tough player to double up, as he does run well. Both he and Mizuno assets to their game. Crowd is making a lot of noise tonight in Hokkaido, and they've got good reason to be in good spirit as they are enjoying a 5-0 lead. Here comes the 1-2 pitch from Suzuki. Steady fires over to first, and again getting back in time as the base runner. I think they're pretty concerned, as he probably would take advantage to run if he could. Right now, there's only one batter in the Pacific League hitting north of 300 with qualified bats. That's Kensuke Kondo. In this game here tonight, well, between these two teams, Tomoya Mori not in the game tonight. He is 4th in the league in batting with a .279 average. One thing I did see is they were saying that over in Japan in the Central League, might be the first time in, I forget how many years, that nobody's going to drive in 90 runs. So I don't know if that's just overall offense down between the two leagues or if the pitching is that good. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as the right-hander Suzuki checks the runner at first. Work set. There goes the runner. Fastball swung on and missed. Throw down to second in time, and they've gunned out Mizuno. He's going to be gone. It's going to be caught stealing 2-6. And that is going to do it. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning. It's a strike him out, throw him out. And in fact, I don't know, but I think I might have challenged for interference on Matsumoto if they didn't get that call. And that is going to do it here. An unconventional 1-2-3 inning. Looks like we're going to have a pitching change as well, as the big boss is out of the dugout. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're moving to the 7th inning. Your score is 5-0 for the Fighters. We'll be back in just a few. I got to go get a new drink, maybe some hot tea, anything to keep us awake. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back, everybody. We're just taking ourselves a little break as we do have a pitching change on our hands, and we're running a little bit behind on our end as we got to get it updated here to the top of the 7th inning. As we said, we're finally now starting to experience a little bit of that jet lag. We got crunched a little bit in the afternoon today. Woke up at about 4:30 this morning, local time, and unfortunately, the tough part about that is that we had our flight to contend with yesterday. Get us back here, but getting a little bit of the heavy eyelids, trying to keep us awake here. It is Cato still on the mound. I thought we were going to see a change here, but I wonder if it'll be more of a defensive change than anything else. And that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like we have a new left fielder, and for that matter, a new center fielder. So I wonder if that's the end of the night for Go Matsumoto as well. So the first pitch is a breaking ball that misses outside, and the count is 1-0 to Ryoma Nishikawa. Kato is still on the mound, unless they move Matsumoto over to left field. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. And the count is 1-1. I think Mizutani's day is done, because Mizutani is a bit of a gong show in the outfield. There's a breaking ball swung on. Kato comes off the mound, fields it underhand, flips it to Martinez at first. That's going to go down as a ground out 1-3 for the second out of the inning. That'll bring up the right fielder, Yutaro Sugimoto. Well, for Sugimoto, he is 0 for 2 tonight. He has flown to left and grounded to short in his 2 trips to the plate. As I said, I wonder if that's Taiga Egoshi in the outfield. I didn't get a good look to see who they had put in, as Sugimoto takes a fastball down and the count is 1-0. Got a little bit too quick for us on the substitution, but I have a feeling that's maybe what had happened. There's a fastball, take it for a called strike, and the count now goes even to 1-1 on Sugimoto. It looks like that is exactly the case. It is Matsumoto who has now moved to left, and it is Taiga Egoshi who has now moved into center field. So he will be in the spot in the batting order where Shin Mizutani was once placed. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball swung on and missed. Well, Sugimoto looked like he wanted to cut the lead to 5-1 with that swing. As we update our defensive chart here. There is a breaking ball taken for a called third strike. Sugimoto stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched that go by for out number 2, and that is going to bring up the designated hitter, Yuma Tongu. So we're just making our minor adjustments here as the substitution has been made. And the first pitch delivered to Yuma Tongu is a fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field, and that ball is going to leave the yard as that ball is going to get into the bullpen down in the right field corner. As Yuma Tongu has gone opposite field yard with his 7th home run of the year. So Yuma Tongu has cut the lead now to 5-1. So anybody who had that 5.5 as the over-under, that is now long gone in this one. Yuma Tongu has cut the lead. Our friend Ian says, I think that Kato has wins in his last 4 outings. I know that that game the other night he pitched last week was a 5-2 victory, and there's a fastball swung on, another ball lined into right center field. This is going to get down for a base hit, and Kirby Ashe going the other way. He's got himself a 2-out single, and that's still keeping the inning alive going for the Buffaloes. I'm trying to think I don't know if Kato got the win last Saturday or not, if he hung around long enough. No, sorry, Kato got the victory in the 5-2 affair. So yes, he would have. It was Saturday that it was Drew Verhagen pitched a great game for the Fighters, and he did not get the win. A little surprised that we're not going to see Verhagen tomorrow night. I went earlier and looked to see what the pitching matchups were between these two ball clubs. It's going to be Hiroya Miyagi on the hill. And then it is going to be Koki Kitayama going for the Fighters tomorrow. So no Verhagen after a stellar performance last week. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. The count is 1-0 to Kenya Wakatsuki. Wakatsuki batting here with 2 out and the runner Kirby Ashe at first. As the lefty kicks and delivers, it is a fastball swung on. It is grounded over to third. Kiyomiya on the backhand side fields it. He throws a bullet across the infield. That's going to go down as a ground out 5-3 for the third out of the inning. And that will do it here. Well, they got a run in the inning, did the Buffaloes, as they broke up the shutout. 1 run on the homer by Yuma Tongu. There were 2 hits, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're We're now moving to the bottom of the 7th inning. Your score is the Fighters 5 and the Buffaloes 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a few. Appreciate you guys for hanging in with us tonight. We got to update our tee here as well. We'll be right back after this musical timeout. Welcome back, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments with all the action. It is a 5-1 ball game. Hang tight. We'll be right back.
Hello, sports fans. Welcome to Last Raps Baseball, where we're going to open some dancing heroine cards during this intermission. Japanese baseball has cheerleaders for their sport. So let's see what we get from the Japanese baseball cheerleaders. Got swallows, and I bet she does. We have the Lions. It's one of my favorite teams. Wow. Now that's all sorts of nice. Ramu. Very cool. We have Neon. And we have Angels. Of Hiroka. And the one Japanese card no one can read we got from the Giants. So everybody, enjoy the game. Back to you, Freddie, and peace out.
Welcome back, everybody. We have a pitching change as it is going to be Ren Mukanaki on the hill, a right-hander who is taking over here for the Buffaloes. So we'll see how he fares. He'll be the third pitcher used tonight by Orix. So Ren Mukanaki on the hill. I hope I've said his name properly here. Mukanaki ready to come on in relief. And he's going to be entrusted to face the 3, 4, and 5 hitters of the Fighters order. It'll be Kiyomiya Reyes and Ariel Martinez as we resume the action here. We're taking a look at some information. Franmil Reyes has a 25-game hit streak came to an end last night when he went 0 for 4 against the Buffaloes. That was pretty impressive for the big fella, and he's yet to get himself a hit tonight, so we'll keep our eye if he can get a new streak going. As there is a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. I was saying earlier, when the balls are flying up to the plate, it must look like a beach ball to him. I'm just catching up on some of the other stuff here. As they say, fastball swung on, lifted foul down the left field line. The count now goes to 0-2 on Kiyomiya. Fighters entering tonight's game, 14 games above 500. It was the first time since the 2016 season when they won the Nippon Series championship that they were in this good of state. As the 0-2 is on the way, there's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is going to be looped into center field. It's going to be down for a base hit. And Kiyomiya is aboard with a single. That's the second time here in a couple innings where I've lamented the fact that the pitchers have given too good a pitch at 0-2. The home run by Ariel Martinez was on an 0-2 pitch that was left over the heart of the plate. And this one here was a split finger pitch that forgot to split. And it was driven right back through the box into center field for a base hit. And that's going to put the runner at first. It'll bring Franmil Reyes to the plate. So as we were talking about Reyes, with his 25-game hit streak coming to an end last night, he is looking to get another hit streak going here. There's a split finger pitch that misses down and away for a ball, and the count is 1-0. If I'm not mistaken, that 25-game hit streak, it's most by an import player. I want to say it was Fernando Segnal that he had eclipsed. But I don't remember what the record for the team record was for the Fighters. I know he was approaching it. I don't think he got it. There's a fastball that misses down. It's now 2-0 to Reyes. One thing I always like to look at is one-run ball games. How many teams? We were talking earlier about the Pacific League last night. All three of the games in the Pacific League ended in one-run games, and I like to look at teams' records when it's a one-run game. There's a fastball that misses down. It's now 3-0 to Reyes. Right now, the Giants, the Murray Giants, have won 23 games and lost 17 by one run. And the Dragons, ironically, the Chinichi Dragons are 23-19. Both have won the most at 23. As the pitch is a fastball swung on and lifted foul into the seats over on the right field line. What I also find interesting is the double-digit runs scored. The Fukuoka Ball Club has 9 times scored 10 or more runs in a game this year. On the flip side of that, the Hawks have only allowed that once. The Carp have only allowed that once as well. Fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into straightaway center field. Reyes just missed on that one, and moving back to make the catch is Haruka. That is going to retire Reyes for the first out of the inning, and that'll bring up the first baseman, Ariel Martinez. Only team not to score 10 runs or more in a game this season, ironically, is the Orix Buffaloes. You would have thought going into this year that vaunted offense would probably do the damage a few times, but they really haven't put the numbers up. Our friend Ian said most total by the Fighters. First pitch swung on, and there's a line drive into left field. It's going to get through the 6-hole for a base hit. Just got into the open hole there, landed on the outfield grass, and Martinez has got another hit. That's his 3rd hit of the ball game. So he is aboard with runners at first and second. And that is going to bring up Daingo Kamikawa to the plate. So the Fighters here continue to fight. As Kamikawa coming to the dish here with 2 aboard and 1 gone. And Ariel Martinez, night is over. As he's getting high fives as he returns to the dugout. 3 for 3, a walk, a homer, 3 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. Pretty impressive night this evening. It's going to be Taiki Narama who is coming in to run for Martinez. So we'll see if he stays in the ball game and who goes to first base. Taiki Narama on to run. And the first pitch delivered to Kamikawa is taken for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Kamikawa today is officially 0 for 2 on a sacrifice bunt. He is grounded to shortstop both of the times he's come to the plate. Friend Zay says, have a game, Martinez. Yeah, if he's not the player of the game, we definitely need to go have a look at that. There's a fastball swung on. It has popped up into shallow left field. Moving in and making the catch is the left fielder Nishikawa. That is going to retire Kamikawa for the 2nd out of the inning. That is going to bring up the right fielder Chusei Minami. Well, for Minami, he is 2 for 3. He's got a single, a double, and he's grounded to short in his 3 trips to the plate. So Minami digs himself in, ready here to face the offering from the right-hander Mikinoki. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that is taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Mikinoki is the pitcher, the 3rd one used tonight by the Buffaloes. Satani, Suzuki, and Mikinoki. One thing that I will say is that when the games get out of hand, I was at that Chiba Saitama game, and the game got out of hand. It was an 8-0 ball game, and yet the home fans, the Chiba fans, stuck it out. Pretty impressive stuff. Here comes the 0-1 pitch as the right-hander kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-2. You see in North America when games start to have a spread, people are looking for the exits by about the 7th inning. But if it's in the 7th inning and you're down by 8 or 9 runs, got to tip your hat to the Japanese fans. They stay right in their seats till the bitter end. So no balls and 2 strikes to Minami. Runner at third, Kiyomiya. Runner at second, Kiyomiya. Runner at first is Narama, the pinch runner. And here comes the 0-2. This has been the nemesis of the Buffaloes tonight. Pitch on the way. Breaking ball waved at and missed, and Minami is down on strikes. He's gone for the 3rd out of the inning. And the Fighters, they threaten, but they don't score. There were no runs. There were 2 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left. We're now moving to the top of the 8th inning. Your score is the Fighters 5, the Buffaloes 1. Stick around, everybody. Top of the 8th inning, just around the corner. Appreciate you guys for jumping in with us today on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. It is the top of the 8th inning, just around the corner, and your score line is 5-1 for the Fighters. We'll be back in just a few with all the action right after this. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here with us tonight on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be the 9, 1, and 2 hitters to come to bat for the Buffaloes here in inning number 8. It would be Yokoyama, Haruka, and Cedeno slated to face a reliever coming into the ballgame for the Fighters, and we'll get you that checked on in just a moment. So the night for Kato is done. It is going to be the right-hander, number 52, Takahita Ikeda, as he will be the second pitcher used here tonight by the Fighters. 1.42 ERA on the season for the right-hander, making his 24th appearance. So he is going to be taking over here. And we do have a change at third base. Kentaro Kiyomiya has gone across the diamond to first base. And it looks like Taiki Narama, who came in to pinch run for Ariel Martinez, is the new third baseman. So there is your defensive changes. He will stay in the spot where he pinch ran for Martinez. As we said, Yokoyama, Haruka, and Cedeno to come to bat here at top of the 8th inning. Well, Yokoyama steps in. He is officially 1 for 2 tonight. Single in 2 trips. Waits here on the first delivery from the right-hander Ikeda, and it's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. Getting into the deep water here as the Buffaloes are trying to find their way out of it. Find themselves in a 4-run deficit here tonight. That's one of the things that I noticed in the games that I attended last week, is that you're looking at a lot of singles type hitters. There's a fastball swung on and missed. And the count is 0-2 for some of the teams that you play or some of the games that you watch. It's a lot of station to station baseball. As the offenses certainly don't always count on the big 3-run homer. There's a fastball that is swung on and missed, and Yokoyama goes in the books on 3 straight pitches, so 1 up and 1 away. It'll bring up the top of the order in Taisi Haruka. Well, Haruka entered the game hitting .211 tonight, and he's got a couple of knocks. He's got 2 singles and 3 trips. He's also stolen a base. And as I mentioned at the top of the stream, look for our games in the midweek starting this week. We're going to be trying to keep our Tokyo time and trying to give you guys some middle of the night baseball action. Hopefully you guys will be able to join us for that. Here comes the 1-0 pitch, and it's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 1-1 to Haruka. It's pretty much the plan until middle of October, is to be doing the rest of the regular season in the middle of the night if we have to. Here's the 1-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike to Taisi Haruka. Kita on the hill here in relief of Kato, who did just enough today to keep the Buffalo hitters off balance and enjoy a 5-1 lead when he left. There's a breaking ball that misses up. Count is now 3-1. Haruka is the guy you want to get, and Cedeno is the guy you want to face with nobody on base, because as he waits in the on-deck circle, he could put a charge into a baseball. Here comes the 3-1 offering to the right-handed hitting Haruka. Now he kicks and delivers. Fastball swung on and fouled away. That had a little bit of arm side run, and as it ran in on the hands of the hitter Haruka, he was able to fight it off. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is here. Yeah, Sugimoto digs himself in, ready to say Sugimoto. It's Haruka digs himself back in here, ready to face the right-hander Akita. Here comes the pitch. 3-2 on the way. Breaking ball swung on and lifted foul, and the count remains at 3-2. Hopefully we got ourselves a little bit of a rally. Our friend Zay was predicting extra innings before. And in some ways, Zay, I kind of hope you're wrong here, because it would be a tough act to follow another little bit extra innings here in this one. As the right-hander Akita kicks and delivers again, it's a slow breaking ball. It misses up and in. It's going to be ball 4. And Haruka is going to be aboard with a 1-out walk, and that's going to bring Leandro Cedeno to the plate. On the top of the 8th inning, the Lions have tied it up. It's now a 2-2 ball game between them and the Hawks. It's the other game going on in the Pacific. Still 2-1 in the bottom of the 8th inning for the Carp over the Dragons. And the Giants have tied it up against the Bay Stars. It's 1-1 bottom of the 7th inning. So Leandro Cedeno steps in, hitting .246 on the season, 9 homers and 26 runs batted in. He is 1 for 1 tonight, as he came on in the 6th inning and had a pinch hit single in replacement of Kosei Osato. First pitch he sees is a fastball swung on and grounded foul over on the third base side. The count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. That last pitch was a split finger pitch. Didn't do a whole lot. If I'm Akita, I'm not throwing that pitch again. Hung right up into the wheelhouse of Cedeno, and he almost put a great swing on that pitch. There's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count now goes to 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes to Leandro Cedeno. I got to look at that last pitch. Well, that pitch looked like it was well off the outside corner, but the home plate umpire said it was a strike, so it must have been. So here comes the 0-2 as Cedeno waits. They're going outside again, and it's a fastball that misses in the left-handed batter's box, and the count now goes to 1-2. As we mentioned, next weekend, we expect that we're going to give a full slate of games. As the right-hander kicks and delivers, it's a fastball swung on and missed. There's the split finger that splits. Cedeno's gone. He's out for the second out of the inning, and that's going to leave all up to the first baseman, Ryo Oda. So Oda 0 for 3 tonight. He has lined to right, he has flown to center, and he's grounded into a double play. As the right-hander ready to go here. Oda digs himself in, waggling the bat. As the right-hander kicks and fires, it's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul into the seats. Count is 0-1. Oda's lined to right, flown to center, and grounded into the double play in his 3 trips. The first swing he had, the line out to right field, he hit that ball right on the sweet spot, absolutely hammered it, but right to the glove of Chusei Minami. So here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball that just misses outside, and the count now goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. I was saying early in the season, the way that this Buffalo team looked, I wasn't a big fan of the way that Nakajima was running hitters in and out of the order. There's a breaking ball waved out and missed. The count now goes to 1-2. Just saying that you couldn't get consistent. You would run a guy in, and then you would sit him for a couple of games, run a guy in, sit him for a couple of games, and you can't get. Professional hitters want to play every day. And I just felt that they never quite got on a rhythm. There's a breaking ball that misses outside. When you look at a team like Fukuoka, you can pretty much put a blindfold on and predict their lineup night in and night out. You get the odd change, couple of changes here and there, but not wholesale changes every night. But again, how do you argue with Nakajima? They've only been to the last 3 Japan series, and they've won 1. There's a breaking ball that misses down. It's now 3-2 to Oda. I'll keep our eye on Haruka here to see if he is in motion. Oh, they will put him. It's 2 gone here. There's no doubt about it. They are playing in behind him right now as Kiyomiya is tucked in behind they're not even holding him. So he definitely would go first to third on a single. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. On the way, fastball misses down and away. It's going to be ball 4. That's the second walk issued here in the inning by Ikeda. He has 2 strikeouts surrounded by 2 walks, and that's going to bring up the left fielder, Ryoma Nishikawa. Well, for Nishikawa tonight, he is 0 for 3. He has grounded to short, flown to center, and grounded to the pitcher. It's also going to bring the pitching coach out to the mound. That's one thing I always get a kick out of. The pitching coaches come out to the mound. They've got a towel in one hand and a bottle of water in the other. The pitcher on the mound is sucking back the water. So Nishikawa coming to the plate here as the Buffaloes are threatening here to score some runs with 2 outs in the 8th. There's a big at bat right here for the Buffaloes. This could define the ball game right here. Base hit here should score 1. Ball that you can deposit in the seats obviously would cut the lead to 1, but Nishikawa's only got 7 homers on the year. It would be a tough task to expect that that's what he's going to do in this situation. So here comes the first pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up over on the first base side in foul territory. It's playable. Fushimi's got room. He makes the catch, and that is going to do it as the Buffaloes squander an opportunity here to get some more runs back. They had no runs in the inning. There were no hits. There was no errors, and there were 2 runners left aboard. Now moving to the bottom of the 8th inning, your score is the Fighters 5, the Buffaloes 1. Stick around, everybody. Bottom of the 8th, just around the corner. Appreciate you guys for hanging in here. As our friend Zay says, yep, no extra innings, more than likely tonight. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a few.
Yep. I'm just sitting here listening to Freddie call another game here on YouTube. Oh, yeah, going really good. He's calling a great game. Really exciting. Lots of stuff going on. You're lucky it's commercial break right now. I got a second. Oh, yeah, of course I'm having a cold one. Oh, yeah, got plenty of videos coming up this week. You should stop in, check them out, leave a like, tell other people. But Freddie's coming back. I got to go catch the game. I will check in with you later. You have a good night, buddy. Bye.
Appreciate you there, Steve, and the support you give to our channel after the game. Be sure to check out Steve Rademacher. We took over his channel a couple of weeks ago as we did a Japanese baseball card opening as we were eating a pile of potato chips when we were in Japan. It was the Calbee chips. We had eaten a few of those and decided we would shoot a video for our good friend Steve over on his channel. So that is where we stand here. Well, coming to bat here in the bottom half of the inning number 8, it'll be Fushimi Mizuno and the top of the order, Taiga Igoshi, to face the Buffaloes here. We're just looking to see if the Buffaloes have made yet another pitching change. By our accounts here, it looks like that has happened. We'll get you that for you here in just a second. It is going to be number 43. This is Yuto May on the mound. Yuto May, M-A-E. I don't know if it's May or May. As I say, we have to apologize for that. It's our first look at him. It's only his third appearance of the season. So that is pitcher number 4 to be used by the Buffaloes here tonight. So Yuto May coming on in relief. And it looks like we have a new center fielder as well for the Buffaloes, a new first baseman and a new catcher. So it looks like it's Taisi Haruka has moved from center field to first base. Looks like it is Ryu Sugisawa in center field. And I'm not sure who they have put behind the plate as Tori Fushimi, his night is over, but it might be Ryo Ishikawa on in this situation. I'm not sure if Tomoya Mori got hurt or not. He is off of the active roster, as it looks like they've listed him on the farm. I don't know if that's the reason why. There's a fastball that misses down. And the count is quickly 1-1 to Tori Fushimi. It's Fushimi, Mizuno, and the top of the order, as we said, Igoshi coming to bat here. And the pitch on the way, it's a fastball that is swung on and lifted foul. It's going to reach the seats down the right field line. So the count now is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Tori Fushimi. Right-hander again kicks and delivers. There's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is going to get looped into right center field. It's going to get down for a base hit. Making a big turn around first base is Fushimi, but he's going to hold with a long single. That is the leadoff single here. That'll bring up Tatsuki Mizuno to the plate. Well, for Mizuno tonight, he is officially 1 for 3. He's got a single and 3 trips. He's also reached on an error. He is struck out looking, and he was caught stealing to end the 6th inning. So Fushimi is the runner at first base as he establishes his lead over there, and the right-hander works himself to the set. Here's the pitch from May. It's a breaking ball that catches the top part of the zone for a called strike. The count is 0-1. Mizuno, as we said, 0 for 1 tonight. I would be not shocked to see them try to put the bunt down here in this situation. More shocked that he would swing the bat. I know it's a 4-run lead. Any extra run here would probably do the trick for the Fighters. There's a fastball swung on and missed. Count now goes to 0-2. So no sign of the bunt in either of those first 2 pitches. As we said, tomorrow we'll be back on the airwaves again for these same two teams. So hopefully you guys can join us for that one. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that swung on and lifted foul down the left field line. The count remains at 0-2. So for us tomorrow, we will try to be on the airwaves usually about 10 minutes before the first pitch. As we usually go through the starting lineups and give you some pregame information. That fastball misses upstairs. Count now goes to 1-2 on Mizuno. And it's actually a 9 o'clock start tomorrow night. I think I've got it listed at 10, but we will be on the airwaves at 9. So 9 o'clock Pacific, midnight Eastern. It's a 1 o'clock first pitch Japan time. And there's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. And May strikes out Mizuno for the first out of the inning. So one gone. That's going to bring up the top of the order in Higoshi. It was a split finger pitch that fell off the face of the earth there. Our friend Stevie says he's the first time checking out our channel. Great job. Well, we appreciate you for being here. Our friend Living Room Sports in the house tonight, checking out as well. Eloy says he's back, and he says, could you say hello to his wife, Jessica, and Eloy Jr.? Absolutely. There's a split finger pitch that swung on and missed. Count is quickly 0-1. Our friend Ian said the Lions got out of a bases loaded jam. Last time I looked in there, it was 2-2. Appreciate everybody for popping in here tonight and listening into the channel. As we say, this one here was the Ariel Martinez show early on. There's a split finger pitch swung on and missed. The count now goes to 0-2 on Higoshi. A 3-run homer from Martinez, and then he scored the first 2 runs after he had a couple of knocks. He was 3 for 3 and a walk. Higoshi looking for his first hit of the season for the Fighters. Here's the pitch. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count now goes to 1-2. I think with all the speed that Higoshi possesses, I wonder why he wouldn't consider dropping a bunt down. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. It is the early part of the game. It was, I believe, before the game, it was a 6.5 for the over-under on this one. 5.5 once the game started. Right now, it hangs in the balance as being an under if you were in on the line before the game. There's a fastball that misses up. Count now goes to 2-2 on Higoshi. I got to say, the odds makers, a lot of those people, they do a heck of a job in getting the line so close. Obviously, to try to draw money in from both sides of the coin is a art, not just an art, but a statistical analysis. And certainly these two teams here tonight are playing right around that score line. There's a fastball that misses upstairs. Count now goes to 3-2 on Higoshi. So the runner at first is Fushimi. 1 gone here in the 8th inning. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Higoshi, and on deck waits Go Matsumoto. So if you're looking around or lurking around for that information regarding the over-under, it's about to come to fruition here in a couple moments. Here's the 3-2. Fastball swung on and missed. Goshi's in the books for the second out of the inning. That's the second strikeout recorded by May here tonight. And it's slated to bring up Go Matsumoto, but we'll have to wait and see if the big boss has got something up his sleeve. And it is something up his sleeve. It looks like it's Gosuke Kato coming up to bat. Hitting 175 on the year, no homers, and 1 run driven in, if my Japanese is correct. batting from the left side against the right-hander. And there's a breaking ball that misses outside. So Go Matsumoto's night is done, and Gosuke Kato on here to pinch hit. The former Toronto Blue Jay in his second season with the Hokkaido Ball Club. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count runs even to 1-1. 2 gone here in the 8th inning. Runner at first is Fushimi. Buffaloes are pretty much down to their final 3 outs when this inning turns over, as they're going to have to try to look for some instant runs to get back in it. Fastball swung on and pop foul. It's going to reach the seats on the first base side of home plate. Count goes to 1-2 on Kato. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is to the left-handed hitting pinch hitter of the Fighters. Curious to see if they're going to put him in the ball game or if they're going to put another outfielder in. Kato, not necessarily an outfielder, more of an infielder in our books, as that fastball misses up and away. Count goes now to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. It always makes it a little bit tough when the game gets knocked out early or earlier, especially with the 5-0 lead at one stage for the Fighters. Even though the Buffaloes clawed one back, never really thought that they were going to get back into this race. There's a pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on and lifted foul into the seats. Count remains at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kato. Right-hander against the left-hander. As May delivers, it is a fastball that just misses a little bit low. That runs the count to 3-2. Well, Fushimi's going to be in motion here with 2 gone. So Kato, with some pretty good plate discipline, took that pitch low. So 3 balls and 2 strikes it is, as he waits on the delivery from the right-handed throwing May. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball. Take it for a called 3rd strike. Oh, Kato, you stood there like the house by the side of the road. Watched it go by. He strikes out the side, does May. Or Mai. I'm not sure how you're going to say that. I'll have to do a little bit of referencing on that. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left aboard. He strikes out the side. We're moving to the top of the 9th inning. Your score is the Fighters 5, the Buffaloes 1. Let's see if the Fighters can close the deal here. We'll be back in just a couple moments. Appreciate you guys for being here. We'll be back in just a few right after this. Or maybe that. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to be Toshihiro Segura coming on to try to close this one out. It'll be the third pitcher used by the Fighters tonight. It is a non-save situation as it is a 4-run lead for Hokkaido going here to the bottom of the inning. Our friend Ian said the Lions took the lead. It was a home run by Shita Tonosaki that has given them the lead over the Hawks. My friend Zay says, go Lions. I got to say that the Lions have played much better baseball over the last probably 5 or 6 weeks. With Genda and Tonosaki in the middle infield, there's probably nobody on that team that I think is worth a nickel outside of those two guys on the offensive side of things. I was so unimpressed with Shinya Hasegawa amongst some of the other players. Sato, the third baseman, just highly unimpressed. And watching them play, I saw there were 3 games that they had. I think they could be a lot better, or they could do a lot better maybe than some of those other guys, but they just don't have the bullets to put in the lineup. But the one thing I am pleased about is that they're not going to lose 100 games. It doesn't look like if they can win after tonight, if they win today and they win 2 more, they will stave off losing 100. And it's been a number of years since a team in the NPB has lost 100. As there's a first pitch fastball delivered to Sugimoto that swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. Sugimoto is 0 for 3 tonight. He's got a ground out. He's flown out, and he has struck out looking in his 3 trips. As he waits on the offering here from the right-hander, Segura, who kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count goes even to 1-1. So in some ways, it is kind of neat. I kind of, in some ways, I like that open-air dome, and it was kind of cool because doing some research on it, they built that dome after the stadium had been around for a number of years. As there's a breaking ball that misses inside, the count is 2-1. It was somewhere in the 90s that they started constructing the dome, and then they finished it in the second year. It was like built in 2 phases. But when you walk up the steps to go down into the Balluna Dome, as there's a fastball swung on, it's going to be grounded through the 4-hole into right field, and Sugimoto is aboard with a base hit. He's got himself a single, and that's going to bring Yuma Tongu to the plate. Just finishing to say, the steps are uneven. I didn't have anything to drink on either of the nights that I was there, and I'm walking up the steps, and I thought, oh boy, we just had an earthquake or something. It's just unsteady footing. It was like a stadium that truly was built in the 40s or 50s. A lot of uneven footing underground, but really neat structural design. That the fact that the dome is over top of it, just the position of it, really, really cool. Well, that brings Yuma Tongu to the plate. He is 1 for 2 tonight. He's got the only run for the Buffaloes. It was a solo shot, and he swings at the first pitch, breaking ball, and he lifts it down the third base line. This ball is drifting towards the seats, and it is going to hit the netting. It's going to be out of the reach of Narama. So no balls and 1 strike to Tongu. Tongu having a bit of a rough season at the plate, as we had mentioned before. With a 1 for 2 and a walk tonight, he keeps his average above 200. It was only his 7th homer of the year. Fastball misses in. They appeal to the first base umpire, and they say that Tongu didn't go, and the count runs even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike it is. Tongu wiggles his bat, waiting on the offering from the right-hander, who holds set. Segura ready to deliver again. Pitch on the way. Fastball misses down and away, and the count now goes to 2-1. You certainly don't want to bring the tying run to the plate at any stretch here. Curious to see what options the Buffaloes may have coming off the bench. They've already used Leandro Cedeno in this one. As the pitch is on the way, it's a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul. It's past the third base dugout into the camera well, and the count now goes to 2-2. I believe they've used Ishikawa that last half inning as the catcher. They still list Tongu to catch. I think there's Nishino off of the bench. You also have Yamashi off of the bench, as the pitch is a fastball swung on and fouled back, and the count now is going to remain at 2-2. You've also got Kita, Watanabe, as well as Sugisawa, who is on the bench as well. So nobody that you really, or I really feel confident in saying, hey, this guy could come off the bench and run into a couple of balls that can tie the ball game up. Here's the pitch. It is a split finger pitch. It misses down, and the count now goes to 3-2 on Tongu. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. So the right-hander Segura works himself to the belt. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. It's on its way. It's a breaking ball that misses inside. It's going to be ball 4. And the first 2 Buffaloes have found themselves aboard here in the 9th inning. So the Orix Ball Club is not dead yet, but maybe leaving it too little too late. Runners at first and second, nobody out. And that is slated to bring Kotaro Kobayashi to the plate. And for Kobayashi tonight, he's got a single in 3 trips. They don't need a bunt here. They need a couple of more base hits. So runner at second, Sugimoto. Runner at first, Tongu. And here comes the first offering to Kobayashi. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. You can tell Kobayashi didn't like that pitch. He buckled his knees afterwards. That pitch looked like it could have been down and away. Our friend Zay says, can this game end already? Well, looks like it's going to be a nail biter here to the end. Here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up on the infield. The infield fly rule is in effect. Making the catch is Mizuno, as that retires Kobayashi for the first out of the inning. That's slated to bring up the catcher, Kenya Wakatsuki, but I think it is a pinch. There was a positional change. I think Wakatsuki is done for the night. I'm going to have to take a look. I believe it's Ryo Ishikawa coming to bat, but no, it's going to be Masahiro Nishino to pinch hit here. So Masahiro Nishino on to pinch hit. As that is the end of the night already for Ishikawa behind the dish. He's the last man standing. Listed would be Yuma Tongu, and there's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Nishino. His career against the Fighters, Nishino is a .355 hitter. That begs the question, why wasn't he in the starting lineup to start the ball game? Here's the 0-1 pitch. Fastball misses down, and the count now goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Our friend Stevie Idle says, no more runs, please. Well, if the 6.5 was your fancy, right now the the under is still holding in effect. And the 1-1 on the way. It's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul down the left field line, and the count goes to 1-2 on Nishino. It is Yokoyama waiting his turn on deck. So this game here still has some value for some of our listeners. So here comes the 1-2 pitch as the right-hander Segura works himself to the belt. Checks the runner at second, now delivers. Fastball swung on. This ball is lined into right field. Nice catch by Manami, and he came charging in as if he wanted to take a shot to one of the bases, but he wasn't able to pick somewhere to throw the ball to in that spot. Nishino hit the ball hard right to the glove of the right fielder. He's gone for the second out of the inning. That's going to bring up Seiya Yokoyama to the plate. Well, they're now down to their final out are the Buffaloes. Yokoyama here, 1 for 3 tonight. He's got a single in 3 trips. So are we going to have a pinch hitter for him? Yeah, it looks like we are going to have a pinch hitter. It's going to be number 38, Ryoto Kita. The pitch to Kita is a fastball that misses outside. That was at 95 miles an hour. So Ryoto Kita on here to pinch hit for Yokoyama, who was 1 for 3 tonight, by the way. So 1 ball and no strikes as Segura holds set. He checks the runner, now delivers. Fastball taken for a called strike. Count runs even to 1-1. Once this game is completed, we will come back and give you a full wrap-up of this one and take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. Right now, Shinjo can't bear to watch. As the 1-1's on the way, it's a fastball swung on. It's grounded into right field for a base hit. Manami fields it, but they're going to have to hold Sugimoto at third because, well, the reality is he can't run very well. But it's going to be a single for Kita. That's going to load the bases, and it's going to bring up Taishi Haruka to the plate. A tying run has come to the plate here in the 9th inning. Oh, man, if you are a fan of the Buffaloes, it's going to leave you with your stomach churning. If you're a fan of the Fighters, you got to find a way to get the one more out here. So 5-1's the lead. Bases are full of Buffaloes, and Haruka striding to the plate. He's had a nice night tonight. He's 2 for 3 with a walk. He's also flown out to right field. Haruka has raised his season average to 230 tonight. The former Yomiuri Giant waiting on the first pitch here from Segura. Here's the pitch. Split finger pitch swung on and missed, and the count quickly goes to 0-1 on Haruka. Yeah, you certainly, if you're a fan of the Fighters, you want this one to end in a good old-fashioned hurry. And they do have action up in the pen. It looks like they got a pair of right-handers getting hot. Looks like it's Yanagawa and Nabatame, and there's a fastball swung on and missed, and now the count goes to 0-2, and now the Buffaloes are down to their final strike. Bases full of Buffaloes, 2 gone here, top of the 9th inning. 5-1's your score line for the Fighters. Everybody's cheering for that one more strike. Well, don't make it too good here at 0-2. Here comes the pitch. As the pitch is on the way, it's a fastball that misses way upstairs. That was at 95 on the gun. So 1 ball and 2 strikes it is to Haruka. Right-handed hitting first baseman started the game in center field tonight. As the right-hander Segura works himself to the belt, he checks the runner at second. Now delivers. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, but they didn't get the call. That's going to run the count to 2-2. Oh boy. First of all, good discipline by the hitter to stay off of it. Actually, looked like it was a breaking ball. Nice frame job there by the catcher Tori Fushimi. Upon our further review, it looked like the pitch was down. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. Segura holds set. Kicks and fires. Breaking ball, take it for a called third strike. He didn't get the last call, but he certainly got that call there as Haruka stood there like the house by the side of the road. He watched it go by for out number 3, and that's going to do it. Buffaloes strand 3 in the 9th. No runs, 2 hits, no errors, 3 runners left the board. Your final score is the Hokkaido Nippon-Ham Fighters 5, Orix Buffaloes 1. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a few to wrap up this one for you and put this one to rest. We'll give you a full recap and the scores from around the league in just a few.
Good evening, sports fans. I hope you all have been enjoying the game. This is just another message from another Hollis build. I hope that your team is in the lead, but if not, remember, that's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But you know I'm gonna change that tune. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life, and as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on my team, but I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I hope you enjoy the rest of the game, and if it remains the same, remember, that's life. You want your fill? Go check another Hollis build on YouTube. Last Raps Baseball. Let's get back to the game. Let's go! You know that's life. You know it. One love and peace.
Welcome back, everybody. Well, we could tell you this. We just peeked in, and the Lions have knocked off the Hawks 3-2. It was a ground ball just short to end the ball game, as the Hawks have fallen 3-2 to the Lions tonight in this one. The 2 runs the Hawks scored were back in the third, and the Lions put up 2 late in the 8th and the 9th inning to come from behind to win. We'll give you the recap, first of all, of this one here. It was all fighters to get going. In fact, it was all Ariel Martinez early on. With 1 out in the second, he singled, and he was brought home on a RBI double by Chusei Minami. That opened the scoring 1-0. In the 4th inning, it was a leadoff walk to Ariel Martinez. He was sacrificed over to second. And then after a ground out by Minami, he was doubled home by Tori Fushimi. That increased the scoreline to 2-0. In the 5th inning, a leadoff walk to Go Matsumoto, and then a single by Kataru Kiyamiya. After a flyout to center field, up-stepped Ariel Martinez, and he deposited a 3-run shot into the seats. That made the score 5-0. Well, the Buffaloes were able to answer with 1 back in the 7th. With 2 out, up-stepped Yuma Tongo, and he deposited a home run into the left field seats. And that cut the scoreline to 5-1, and that's where it finished. Your totals for this one here tonight. For the Fighters, they had 5 runs in the ball game, 10 hits, and they made no errors. For the Buffaloes on their side of the ledger, they had 1 run in the ball game. There was 8 hits and 2 errors, and again, your final score was 5-1. Ian says the Fighters cut the Hawks lead to 7. Yeah, that is also correct. So very interested to keep our eye on that to see how that's going to play out. Just a quick look at the scores from across the NPB. Of course, we said the other final that was going on in the Pacific League, 3-2 victory for the Lions. Game is over at the Mazda Zoom Zoom Stadium. It was a 2-1 victory for the Carp over the Dragons. And at the top of the 9th inning at the Tokyo Dome, the Bay Stars have regained the lead with a 2-1 lead over the Giants. That is in the top of the 9th. All right, everybody, we'll be back on tomorrow, 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Pacific, midnight Eastern. Hopefully you guys can join us. We'll adjust our start time, as it'll be these same 2 ball clubs all over again. We appreciate you guys for listening in on the Last Raps Baseball YouTube channel. Hope you have a great night, and we look forward to seeing you again tomorrow.